What's going on, all you steak subscribers? Welcome back to the Medium Rare Podcast. Today's guest, we got my guy Moez Pirani, aka MoezPFit, aka King of the Kettlebells, aka Mo with the Flow.
Mo with the Flow, like that.
Aka, dang, I don't know. Do you have any more AKAs that I should know
Moist.
about?
No, I'm joking. No.
Moez.
Moses. Cornelius.
Oh, okay. Moses, Cornelius. Is that one word? Or
No,
those
just
two separate
Moses.
ones? Moses. I like that, man. Moses.
One of my high school friends used to call me that. I don't know. It was so random. I don't know why they called it.
Yeah.
But
cool. We're going to break out into these steaks. Give me 1 second. I don't see the blue light on. Okay, no, it's on the other side. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to break out into these steaks. I'm just going to cut them up and we'll just eat it family style.
Excellent.
Here we go. We got some New York strips.
I'm going to record you if you don't mind.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah. I'm not going to tell you where I got them from because I'm not sponsored by them. So.
Excellent.
Yeah. Maybe one day. We'll see. Here we go. Ooh. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I feel like this is probably going to be one of like the better steaks I've had. Just from looking at it, yeah.
Nice. Cool. Yeah, it's not too rare for you, right?
No, that should be good.
Perfect.
Honestly, I don't really know what I like. Like I said, I haven't had steak too many times.
It's all good.
I remember one of my aunts, she like used to make a really good steak.
Uh-huh.
And that's when I first like had it and I was like, yeah, this is good.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've been trying to chase that kind of same taste and I haven't
that steak high.
Yeah. And I haven't had
I love it.
I
love it.
So I usually stick with stuff like grilled meat.
Yeah. Like grilled chicken and stuff?
Yeah, like Pakistani style like grilled stuff.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like bihari kebab, chicken tikka, like kebabs.
Yeah,
malai boti, all that stuff is like so good to me. Like, that's the stuff I eat.
Yeah, and that stuff is really good. They're very like that Pakistani South Asian food is like really focused on like, slow cooking, marinating, everything being really soft and tender. Yeah. And so it's hard to find, like bihari kebab rare, right? You can't ask for like medium rare bihari kebab, right?
Like that's not a thing.
Yeah. All right, man.
That's fucking solid.
Yeah, man. It's my favorite part. Honestly, I could just cut steak all day. If I was getting paid for it, yeah. All right. Yeah, this is a beautiful spread, man. I know you took a video earlier. I would just snap a quick picture of this.
No, go ahead, dude.
Yeah, I can't. I don't have my phone.
Oh,
menus.
here.
Yeah.
I was like, I forgot.
Yeah. Oh.
You want to wait, landscape, portrait? What do you care?
Oh, dude, you can just whatever. Just for the
flash on.
Just for the memories for next time or for later. Wow, these were a perfect cook.
Okay.
You can't even tell which one was cooked in the stainless steel and which one was cooked in the hard anodized.
No, you can't.
Nice. Cool, man.
You said this is New York, right? How does this compare to ribeye? Ribeye is usually a bit fattier, right?
Ribeye's fattier, definitely more flavorful. But I like New York strip because it has the fat cap on the side, so you get a little bit of fat. Yeah. And then you get like kind of like the leanness of the.
Would you say it's a little bit tender?
Cut.
Would you say this?
It is tender. I like it. I think it's tender. Definitely more tender than like sirloin or something.
Yeah. Sirloin's like basically like very, very lean, right? Like you're not gonna get a lot of,
super lean. Yeah.
You're not gonna get like a lot of flavor.
Yeah, unless you're getting like a picanha, which is like that sirloin with the fat cap. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
No, I don't think so.
It's really good. It's really popular in like Brazil.
Okay.
Yeah. You've been to South America somewhere, right?
No, I haven't.
I forget where.
I mean, my family, we went to like Cozumel from like a cruise.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And we were there for like an hour. Like I don't consider that.
You're like I'm not counting that.
I don't count that. Yeah. So I haven't been in South America.
Cool. All right, man. Dig in.
Excellent here.
Yeah. You grab whichever one you want. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was good.
Right? Mm-hmm. Super simple.
The salt.
The salt, right? Salt's so key. I can't even tell you the name of the brand, but it's Celtic sea salt. That's the answer, man. That's my secret. I use pink Himalayan salt sometimes too, but
I think people use kosher a lot, but I've never heard of. Mm-hmm. Is this like this seems a little thicker, no?
Or? It is, yeah. It's like a little. It's like definitely like you'd see. It's like it's not grainy. It's like definitely like coarse, I guess would be the word. But I like it, man. I like it a lot. It has like a different flavor profile than like of course, normal table salt, iodized salt, but it has different flavor profile than like Himalayan pink salt. One of my friends, because the Himalayas, they're in Pakistan, right? So he goes, I'm like, yeah, I like Himalayan pink salt. And he's like, oh, you mean Pakistan mine salt? And I'm like, yeah, I guess. But,
No, this stuff it's solid.
cool, man. Thought we could make this happen.
I want to so like, the last time I told you I had steak in Vegas, that was pretty decent. But I think the last like good steak I had outside, I went to like Del Frisco's and they had a pretty good steak.
The one in Legacy West?
Yeah. I went there for like my birthday. Like this is years ago. I thought that was pretty good. But I think honestly, if you cook it at home, I think more often than not, because then you can like exactly how you want it, and usually you're not like, you get to decide what goes into it, right? So
Exactly.
like,
yeah.
You know what you're eating basically.
Dude, that's so powerful. When you cook your own food, you know exactly every single ingredient you're putting into it. So I mean, the ingredients for this was literally butter, salt, meat. That's it, right? There's no, you're not getting this list of like 30 ingredients.
No.
There's no filler, none of that stuff. Well, that's really good. You were telling me earlier about your workout today. You got legs. I know you do a lot of at-home stuff with the kettlebells and like the free weights and stuff. What'd you hit today?
Yeah, so sometimes I feel like I'm a little indecisive in my workout routine. I feel like, but at the same time, I think that's bad necessarily. I think it's good to stick to something for a while just so you can really see. Because obviously, consistency and progressive overload is like important, right, for like anything. So I think a lot of people, as they say, stick to a routine at least for a few months, or at least for like a cycle. But so I was doing some at-home stuff for a while, and then I was like, you know what, let me try doing like the typical gym bodybuilding kind of routine. That's why I started that this week. So have you heard of JPG? Have you heard of that guy? He's on TikTok.
I don't think so. Write that down. JPG?
Yeah, he's an Asian dude, a little bit shorter, but I really liked how he worked out.
Is that guy that like, he's that Asian dude with like the hair, and he's like, yeah, how you're doing bicep curls, and then you see your friend do bicep curls or something like that. Is that guy?
So there's two guys. I mean, is he very lean or is he a little bit bigger?
He's lean and he's like kind of short.
So no, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
It is a lot of like this is how like they do it. This is how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah.
I forgot his name, but I know who you're talking about. Not him. There's a guy named JPG.
Okay.
Slightly older. I'll say probably a little bit older than you. A little bit taller than him, and definitely a lot bigger than him.
Yeah.
But this guy, a lot of like, he's all about like he hates a lot of like, I think he like basically hates barbell training.
Oh, no.
And he's very
Him and I
much
would get along.
What?
Him and I would get along.
Yeah, no, dude, that's why I really fell with like what he said. I really liked because a lot of it was like, you understand like muscle, right? Like, it builds through like time under tension, and you're gonna get most of your muscle like damage, right, in the last couple reps. And my issue with barbell training, especially stuff like squats and deadlifts, is that when you're at that point, right, first off, your system might be fatigued before the actual muscle is.
Like your CNS.
Yeah. So like, or you might just be gassed, right? Because these are compound lifts. These are things that will tire you out. So like, if you're getting, let's say you're trying to go for like a set of 8, you could be 6 reps in or like 7 reps in, and this is like your last couple reps, and you might just be like completely like gassed to where like your legs might not feel it too much, but like your whole body, you're just like tired. And that's one issue I have with barbell training, is that like, you can't really like push to the last few reps as much. And also, I just feel like with barbell training, like you need like a spotter. I feel like also it just loads the joints in a way that like if you fuck up, if you do
you get injured bad.
You could get injured pretty bad.
Yeah,
right. So like obviously great form. I think it has a lot of benefits. Right.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Like if I was to go do squats right now, because I haven't done it in a while, like barbell squats, I'm sure I'll be sore. But it's one of those things where it's like, is it really worth it? And I feel like, especially. And like obviously, if you're a power lifter, if you're like trying to do it for sport or like,
if you're getting paid to squat and bench and deadlift, yeah. But if you're not, if you're just like
if you're just looking to be fit,
bro, I'm not trying
muscle,
to. I'm not trying to be a bodybuilder or a power lifter or any of that. I'm trying to have like that's what this channel is about, bro. Like it's not niche specific to any type of fitness. It's just like, just like have some physical activity, move around a little bit, eat some good food, sleep, meditate, all that stuff. But you brought up a good point about the injury thing, because the barbell is such like a finely loaded piece of equipment, and nobody has like perfect balance.
Everyone
has like
everyone's different.
Yeah, everyone has
Proportion-wise,
yeah, exactly right. So everyone has just like a few imbalances, to where like you might not notice it when you're. This is when I was really young. I remember when I would do a lot of barbell bench press. Yeah, I'm like, okay, whatever. Like I'm doing all right, but then I'd go do like a dumbbell bench press on a separate day. And then like my left side like could not keep up with my right side. Like I had so much. My left side was giving out faster than my right. So, yeah, I guess training the imbalances out is really important for when you're doing a lot of barbell work.
There's a guy named so like I said, I think I've switched a lot. There's been times where I'm like focusing on bodybuilding. There's times where I'm focusing on a little bit more quote unquote functional training. I say quote unquote because a lot of people sometimes they think that. Like this whole idea of functional. Sometimes you'll see people on Instagram.
They say functional training is
They
BS.
say, and they're just doing like the craziest shit
yeah.
on like Bosu balls and like unstable type stuff, and like that kind of functional training, that's kind of dumb. But obviously, I think there's a little bit of benefit, but the benefits don't outweigh the cons of injury and all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Not to mention that like progressive overload and those kind of movements is like tough to make.
Dude, it's so hard to do.
There's a reason people say like barbell and stuff is like. Or like dumbbells.
It's easy to load.
It's easy to load. It's easy to progressively overload.
It's easy to like keep track as well of what you're doing.
Yeah. But basically, there's a guy named Mike Boyle, and he trains a lot of athletes.
Oh, I know Mike Boyle.
Yeah, you know?
Yeah, dude, he used to have a lot of articles on Stack.com. I don't know what that is.
Yeah. I definitely read a couple of those. But I think he trains a lot of athletes. So for me, I was like, hey, I love playing sports. I want to make it so, because I was in the bodybuilding stuff for a while, and we can talk a little bit more about why I don't do that as much anymore. But I found this guy on Reddit. I was just like looking up like sports, functional training, stuff like that, and I saw someone recommend Mike Boyle and he has like a book called like Functional Training for Athletes. So I went through that and like he's like, okay, like if you want to set up a workout routine, right? First off, you should be prioritizing actually playing the sport, obviously, but there's definitely off season or more like off season. Obviously, you're training a little bit more, like strength training a little bit more, whereas
more
in season,
training,
in season
versus more like power and athletic stuff.
Yeah, but a lot of it was like a lot of the same fundamentals, right? There's like a vertical pull, vertical push, horizontal pull, horizontal push, but one thing that he really focuses on unilateral stuff. So like for legs, there's like Bulgarian split squats.
My man, I love split squats. One of my favorite exercises.
Dude, I fucking hate it.
Really?
I mean, like it's a great exercise, but I fucking hate doing it. Yeah.
I also like just like in place lunges too.
Yeah, but I think Bulgarians. I think it's one of those exercises where first off you're not putting a lot of tension on like your back.
On your back, exactly.
So it puts a lot of load off that.
Yep.
And because it's unilateral, you can put a lot of, like you can load it quite a bit because it's only one leg, right?
Yeah,
sometimes
exactly.
Two legs. It's like, especially if you're like a really beefy guy.
It's like 80% of the work is being done by the front leg, and like 20% is just like stability with the back leg.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So it's
Love that.
It's like, but I think I read some of his stuff. I found it really interesting. So I started implementing some of that. Honestly, I started making my own routines at some point because I just felt like I learned enough about it.
Natural progression, I think.
And obviously, listen, I don't think there's like. I think at the end of the day, you should make training fun for yourself, and you should enjoy it, and it should fit towards your goals. And no set routine that's like on Google or anything that's gonna give you exactly what you want. So sometimes you just gotta tailor it for like what you want to do, right? So, for example, like I love dumbbell. I like dumbbell benching more than barbell benching.
Yes.
Like I feel like my dumbbell, like I shit you not, like I feel like my dumbbell chest press is the same as like my barbell, but dumbbell's supposed to be significantly harder, right? Like because it's, you gotta have a lot more forearm strength and stuff like that. So typically when people have, let's say,
let's stabilize
200 pounds of barbell, let's say that's like their max. Their dumbbell combined will only be like 140 or something, right? Like they might be able to do like 70 on each arm.
270s, yeah. Yep.
Versus like they might be able to do like 225 on the bench though, right? Like it's something like that. But for me, I feel like I just don't like barbell. Maybe I don't know what it is, but I feel like I can never progress too much on that lift.
Yeah, and it's not, and like sometimes like people kind of put like barbell as this like holy grail end all be all exercise. And it can be barbell anything. You could just say like, oh yeah, barbell deadlift is the best. If you're not barbell deadlifting, you're wasting time in the gym. It's like, well, what if I have like joint issues where barbell deadlifting is hard, but I can do a T-bar row, I can do a glute bridge, and I can do a reverse hyperextension instead, right?
Yeah.
Those are hitting the same exact muscle. I'm still getting my erector spinae. I'm getting my upper back. I'm getting my traps. I guess I got to include shrugs to get traps or like some farmer's carries or something, right? But I can still do like, instead of going in and just doing deadlift and accessory work, I can just do like this set of exercises, like a bent over T-bar row, some farmer's carries, some reverse hypers, and then whatever the other thing I said. Oh, glute bridges, right? That hits all the same muscles.
Yep.
And I'm protecting my joints for the future. So, I don't know, man. It's kind of like, like you said, you got to make training fun and like whatever personal preferences.
Yeah.
I would give me those 4 exercises over a deadlift any day.
Yeah. Well, like, I don't think you even need to do like all 4. Like, honestly, you can split it up.
Yeah.
Obviously, deadlift works all those muscles, but like you doing individually those is going to work those particular muscles a lot more than deadlift will. Because deadlift's more compound, so it'll hit like everything decently. Whereas like if you do, for example, a glute bridge, you're going to hit your glutes probably, if I had to guess. I don't do either one too much, but I would assume glute bridge probably will. I see a lot of girls do that, right? So like,
dude,
I'm sure it works the glutes pretty well if they're doing it.
It does.
So,
dude, I love doing like single leg glute bridges. Are insane. Like if you just like
single leg glute bridges, okay.
Dude, single leg glute bridges, like if you're laying on the ground and you have like one foot here and the other leg is like straight out.
I've done it. Yeah.
And like, dude, you're just coming up. Even body weight. I mean, you can add like if you want, you add like a kettlebell on the opposite side as you come up and stuff. But even just body weight, dude, doing like 10, 15 reps, like my glutes are torched. And like the important thing about glutes, a lot of people have lower back pain. They don't work their glutes enough because your glutes, QL, lower back, they're all connected. Like everything's like connected. So, oh man, it's important. That's why you can't like skip out on anything when you work out. So,
I like that you mentioned that because I had so a while back, I want to say maybe a few years ago, I had some like really serious like knee pain. I was having a lot of issues with it, and I remember like, so I was following a lot of like not orthos, but like chiropractor, PT kind of people on YouTube. So it's like Squat University. I'm sure you've probably heard of them.
Prehab guys.
What? Prehab guys.
Yeah.
There was like this guy named like Trevor or something. There's a few people. There's one that's really like big into the what's the
Jeff Cavalier, AthleanX.com.
No. I haven't been watching one of his videos, but even into like CrossFit, there's one guy who's like really popular, and I started watching a lot of their stuff, and it was like how like a lot of it comes from like the ankle, comes from the hip. Because the knee is just like it's a single flex.
The knee is just a hinge joint. Same thing as your elbow. Same thing as like here. If this is the issue, then you got to check here and here.
Yeah, exactly.
Same thing if you got to check here and here.
So I think just working on that helped. But I also realized I think I was trying to like. I think the issue was like I was trying to like I saw these people squat and the way they were squatting was like so perfect. Like the legs were like absolutely straight. Everything looked perfect, and I tried to like mimic that.
Yeah.
I think what I came to realize that my body's just a little different. Like everyone has a little bit of like
bow.
Yeah, I think I'm bow-legged.
Yeah.
So for me, like if I look down at my legs, my knees don't like go right over my toes.
Yeah.
So for me, like I kept this is a whole thing, man. I had some like really serious issues. It was really bad for a while, but I would basically try to force myself to do that, and it would basically put a lot of like pain on my knees, my ankles.
Knees,
because I was basically trying to force my leg.
I think I remember this. Was this back when we were like working out at the rec together?
I think so. Yeah,
like
I was in
2017.
Like, probably. Yeah.
I remember you were like foam roll. You were trying to figure out like how to do everything properly.
I used to go to so many like physical therapists, and like it was like a whole thing. Like it was bad.
And when you're bow-legged, you can really just like. When you're bow-legged, you can like turn your feet out just a little bit, right?
Yeah, you're supposed to do it.
You're supposed to do that.
Then that's neutral, yeah. But I think like, if you go down the rabbit hole enough, some people are like, oh, because you're not actually bow-legged. What it is like you have flat feet, and I was like, I have flat feet. So it's like your legs actually collapsing. That's what's making the knee, go in more. And then I'm at a point now where I feel like the issue started happening when I started focusing on it, and like nothing in the past. I never had any injuries. Nothing was fine. So now, like honestly, like I don't look at my legs. I mean, I try to like get to like I don't look down.
You don't think about it, yeah.
Because the second I look down, I know I'm going to start hyperfixating on it. And the second I start hyperfixating on it,
dude, the gym,
there's going to be issues.
The equivalent of like gym hypochondria. You know what hypochondria is, right?
I'm sure I know, but define it.
Like it's like when someone's like very paranoid about like their health or like catching like getting sick or something. Like sometimes people don't shake hands because they're like hypochondriacs. They're just like, oh no, like I'm gonna get sick. Like, I don't want to shake you, whatever. The gym hypochondria, whatever the equivalent to that is called, like I still do suffer from it a little bit. Where like I'm like, oh no, I can't do this because it'll like put my joint in this position. It's gonna like mess us up if I do it over and over. Now I focus like ways around it, but
Yeah.
it was so bad at a point in time. Like I feel like I was so hyper fixated on certain joints
Sure.
moving in a certain range of motion because I had like same thing because you said
Yeah.
you saw all these people squat perfectly and like everyone's like you try to like put yourself into this box, but it's like maybe we're not meant to be in that box because our bodies are different.
Everyone's
So
body's different.
Everyone's body's different, yeah.
And no, I feel like I have like PTSD from it because I was fixated on it for a while, and it was bad. But I'm glad I'm kind of past that point now. And now for me, I just work out. I don't try to look at anything. Obviously, try to have good form. So I still try to go depth. I still try to like stretch and stuff and like mobilize certain stuff. But if it feels good, it feels good. And just don't mess with it too much.
Nice, man. And you're right. I understood you're focused on working out for athletic and functional movement.
So
it's like you're playing basketball, pickleball. I know you're playing pickleball.
I'm playing a lot of pickleball recently. Trying to get good at that.
Yeah.
Playing in tournaments and whatnot. I started the kettlebell training because I feel like it would correlate a lot to like doing like swings. Honestly, help a lot. Cleans.
Oh yeah, because you're swinging.
Not necessarily just for pickleball, just for like athletic performance. Right? Like, even for playing basketball, I feel like I started doing some kettlebell training. I felt like I was just more athletic.
It translates, man.
It translates.
Kettlebell work really translates.
It really translates. So honestly, I want to incorporate it more, but I feel like if that's all you do, I feel like you're missing out on hypertrophy gains. So I think I think the key to like fitness and overall is do what like don't be too regimented, right? Like don't try to fixate on one thing. And for me right now, I'm trying to mix in everything and then also play sports. And I realize it's a journey, like everyone's on their own journey. I'm not trying to. I also realize that, listen, I have a genetic cap to what I can achieve, and I'm not on steroids. I'm very not. It's like I can only get so big or anything. And for me, my issue is whenever I try to bulk, I don't like necessarily tracking calories.
Yeah.
But I try to go for cutting for me is really easy. Like I can basically I hit my protein goal and I just. As long as I'm not eating too much, I can see weight shift. I can shift down a lot really pretty quickly.
But it's hard to gain weight.
For me, gaining weight is because I have a huge appetite.
Oh yeah.
So I'll eat a lot.
Yeah.
It might make that same for you, but for me, I have a huge appetite, so I can gain weight really fast to the point where a lot of it is just fat.
Oh, gotcha. So you can dirty bulk like this.
Yeah, it's too easy for me. So
that's why it's not the gains you want.
It's not the gains I want. So I'll be bigger. I was probably maybe 15, 20 pounds heavier at some point, but I feel like a lot of it was, a decent bit of it was fat, and I don't want that either. So. So I'm still trying to figure stuff out. I think right now I need to focus. I need to balance it more. I think I was doing only bodybuilding. I think the issue was there wasn't enough cardio in it. I was just basically only doing
just lifting.
Just lifting basically, and then eating a lot, and then there wasn't enough focus on cardio and my heart health But I think just playing sports. 'Cause I hate running. I hate walking.
Yeah.
I find
you want to do something athletic, something competitive.
Yeah. I need to keep my mind busy, and I feel like walking and running, I just can't.
Yeah, those are very mind clear because I walk a lot. It's a very mind clearing activity.
Yeah.
My head is empty whenever I'm walking. Man, that's big. What do you feel like are your non-negotiables for health in your life right now?
What do you mean
like things that you're every day or every other day, like when you think about your health journey, it's these are the things I have to have, whether it be
I have to do?
sleeping a certain amount, or eating a certain way, whatever that is, what are those what are those pillars for you,
sure.
those non-negotiables?
Yeah, so if I have to rank everything, I think in terms of obviously certain things are a little bit easier than others. I think getting enough sleep is really, really important. I think since I moved back, I feel like I'm able to sleep a little bit more. So I think me shifting from maybe 6 hours of sleep to 7, 8, I feel like that was huge actually. So that actually helps a lot. Curbs appetite, you just feel better, more energy. So obviously when people sleep less, you need to get the energy from somewhere, and then people usually overconsume food to compensate for it.
Makes sense.
So I think sleep is really important. I think drinking water. I think these are easy things that you can incorporate in your life. Obviously, I think getting enough protein. So I'd say sleep, water, protein. Obviously, being within a calorie range, right? Don't overconsume, don't underconsume too much.
Whether it's a surplus or a deficit, whatever you're.
Yeah. And then I would say just honestly just like trying to be happier. You know, like
That's important.
it's important. You know, you don't want too much stress. You know, you don't want the cortisol levels to increase, and that'll impact stuff.
So big, dude.
So I think overall, just a holistic view of health. You know,
Yeah.
and I feel like I try to help people, and I feel like it's like my parents, for example, right? Like they really want to like get more in shape and this and that, and I try to make it so it's easier for them, right? It's very easy to be like, oh, like eat a salad and this, like, but that's not really sustainable. No one's really gonna eat a like
Every day, yeah. Especially like our culture when we're so used to eating like specific types
like
of,
they like eating curries and stuff.
Yeah.
And for me, like I still eat curries, right? Like what I do, I just make like when I'm cutting, I'll make slight adjustments, right? Like I'll make sure like the curry that I'm eating doesn't have a lot like too much oil in it, because like if you think of like outside desi food, right? It's just like
straight
loaded. It's loaded in like it's not like olive oil. It's like canola oil. It's like
straight oil, bro.
It's
straight tail, bro.
yeah, it's like garbage, and you'll feel like shit too. Like you eat it, you'll feel you're eating it with like naan that's like I don't know, like thick as hell and like white flour.
Dude, one naan is 50 grams of carbs. You know that?
Yeah, I think it has like 300 calories or some shit. Yeah, paratha naan, that stuff is terrible. So what I do, and obviously I know we differ in like diet preferences, but I'll say when I do, like I'll try to eat like roti, and then like when I do it, like what I've found out, what I can do is like this like roti, right? You can like basically do it so where like you can cut it in half, like horizontally.
Like the
So
naan?
yeah, so let's say this is the roti.
Oh
You
yeah, because
basically-
naan is technically like, it's like thick, right? It's like, there's a
But
lot
I
of
don't
air
mean
in
that-
between,
there's
yeah.
air, so but I'm thinking of like chapati or something,
Oh,
right? So
okay,
like,
yeah.
it's like there's still air in between, so what you can do, you can basically like tear it off. So now you have two skinnier chapatis for like the same. Because for me, like when you're eating curry, the purpose of eating the curry, like the bread is just to scoop it up.
Yeah,
Just-
that's it. It's a spoon with your hands.
So yeah. So you don't need something super thick to scoop it, right? Like, and for me, I think it tastes better when you're not over like the curry tastes better when you're not having so much bread with it. So it's like a win-win. And honestly, like you just eat a lot less. So like I tell my parents like, listen, you don't have to like. My mom's like right now she's eating salads and stuff. I'm like, and like she's having like it's all vegetable, just like a couple like pieces of turkey on it. And I'm just like, listen, like this is not gonna fill you up.
It's not sustainable.
And you're gonna
dude.
overeat.
Yeah.
It's like first of all, you might be able to sustain it for a little bit.
Yeah.
There's enough like like
Willpower.
but there's gonna be a point where you're gonna like, and this is what happens. Like there'll be like some like good food. It's like it's like once a week, and then like it overeats, and then like you gotta find something that's sustainable, right? And like I keep telling them, man, just make slight adjustments. You don't have to do anything crazy. Like just cut out the candies. Like sugar is one of the things that are just terrible, right? Like you should try to really limit that. Otherwise, like you can still eat chicken, like fried chicken. Like it's not bad. Like it's vegetables, it's chicken. Like make sure you're not putting too much stale, and try to limit like the carb intake, like the bread, right? Like you can eat it with rice, even like eat it with rice. Like there's ways you can do it. That still tastes good, and long term, that's gonna be a lot better than trying to do something like fad diet or
small shifts instead of like big like spectrum moves. You know.
And the goal is to obviously keep building upon it, but small changes, being a little bit more active, drinking a little more water, trying to get a little more sleep, and I think you'll see results. For me, like I'm huge on like getting a lot of results, so I might go a little bit more. I'll put like if I'm trying to lose weight, like I don't want to lose like half a pound a week. Like I'm trying to lose like at least 1 to 2 pounds, right? So I might go.
Then you'll go to more extreme.
I'll go more extremes, but for me, like if I can still sustain it, I'm fine.
You talked earlier. You said earlier about willpower.
Yeah.
If you have enough willpower, you can stick with it. Do you think that willpower is infinite, or do you think it's finite? Do you think you only have a certain amount of it every day?
I think everyone will break at some point.
Yeah. I'll give you my background on this after. In a
I think everyone will break. I think, and I think surrounding yourself. Listen, it's not infinite. It's always going to break at some point.
Yeah.
I think you got to surround yourself with like-minded people. Got to have the right inspirations.
Word.
Right. Like motivation can only like like if you watch like a motivational video on YouTube, you'll be motivated for a little bit, but there'll be a point where like the motivation goes away.
Yeah.
Right. It's very fleeting. It's very temporary. You really gotta want what you want, and it has to be very intrinsic. And I think the willpower. I think having determination is a lot more important than just motivation.
That's good.
But I think it will break. I think the goal is to. I think it will break if you push it too much, right? That's why
if you try to will everything, if you try to will every change, for too long, I think that's when people burn out.
Yeah.
But if you're like one thing I always like, there's no bad food in this house. Like there's no like there hasn't been Doritos or Oreos in this house in like at least 5 years since my gut stuff started. There hasn't been any bad food in this house in 5 years. It makes it so much easier because like I'm not tempted to. I'm not like using my willpower to not eat that food.
Yeah.
that part of my willpower is saved, right? So.
No, that makes sense. That's how you do it, right? Like if you're gonna have ice cream in the house, like, listen, man, like I can be as strong as the next guy, but there's gonna be a point where you're just gonna eat it, you know, like. And that's why with me in dieting, like obviously it's much easier. Like, if I have to recommend somebody, right, like, on advice, for me it's like, obviously, like, listen, like, you have a steak at home, right? We just cooked a steak, right? People saw us cutting into it, right?
Yeah.
It takes time. Sometimes you don't have that time, right?
Yeah, sometimes people just need it quick, something quick.
So it's still good to have, like, for example, like Costco, it has like pre-cooked meat. It's not the best, but it's better than eating fast food, right? So sometimes it's just making,
Chips,
or just eating junk food, right? So like I literally buy like these like, it's like chicken packets. It's already pre-cooked. That's not my majority of what I eat, but sometimes like if I'm really in a hurry and I really need to eat something, I'd much rather eat that than eat like a spicy McChicken from McDonald's, right? Or like what's the time? Like it's still better to eat something than nothing, and then you try to binge somewhere else, you know. So sometimes it's like, I think the issue I have is a lot of these people, these fitness people, they try to like recommend stuff and they like build stuff from scratch. When sometimes like people, they need to have like beginner level changes, right? Like
it's like, hey, this is step 1.
Yeah.
Don't go to step 12.
Yeah.
Where you're like trying to.
Sure. And if you have the time
like,
and if you have the willpower to do it, then sure, it's gonna be healthier for
like
sure.
people talking about like fasted cardio and stuff, and it's like bro, just go, just walk around first. Yeah. Don't even worry about fast cardio.
Walk,
don't worry
then fast
about,
walk, and then
yeah. Don't worry about grabbing Nikes and all this stuff. You know, like it's there's so many. Do you feel like people overcomplicate? Not just fitness, but anything, right? Like it's like, oh, I'm gonna start working out.
But it's profitable if they do that.
Let me go to Lululemon and buy like $500 worth of clothes and then go work out, right? That Lululemon clothing like will help you 0.00001%. Whereas like if you just go to the gym, that's like 50%.
Yeah.
Of change.
Yes, this is a huge thing. People focus on the one like the 5 to 10% rather than the 90%.
And the 90%.
90% like
so big.
Like even like organic food, we might differ here, but like even like if you eat organic food but you're still gonna eat ice cream, then it's like there's no point.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, we don't differ. Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
But for me, like if you're someone, obviously organic food's more expensive. I understand like people have like budgetary like concerns, and I understand that too. But for me, it's more like focus on the 90%, right?
Yeah.
Like obviously organic food, grass fed, that stuff is gonna be better. But still eating, like for example, a steak is gonna be better than eating like a pizza, right? Like that's like even if it's not grass fed, it's still gonna be better. So to eat like. I mean, obviously, like the way I think of it is like a Mediterranean diet for me is like I think it's like a good diet. So it's like complex carbs to where like it's not super quick. Lean meats, healthy fats. I think when I think of like Mediterranean food, I think that tastes great.
Yeah.
And it's also like, I honestly I feel pretty good. I think there's enough carbs where you still feel the energy going. There's there's like healthy fats in there. Right? I think avocados, like olive oil that they drizzle on top.
Yeah, hummus,
like
lamb,
tzatziki sauce. This is just cucumber and stuff, right?
Pretty much that was what the place we went to on Friday.
Oh, so I didn't eat there, birthday. But yeah.
I know you didn't eat there, but like I know you came late as well. I came a little late too, but they just brought the food out and they brought it out in on a cutting board, and it was like a little like pieces of like lamb kebabs on one side. Then it was like just sautéed vegetables. Then it was like hummus and then like tzatziki sauce and then like a little bit of pita bread. And I was like, wow, this is a perfect
it's good, dude.
perfect meal. We're not sponsored by that place, so I'm not going to say where it is, but it was a good place. Yeah.
It looked fancy. I didn't eat it, but reviews are pretty good. So maybe one day I'll go back. But honestly, that's like good. Like honestly, like you can maybe skip the bread, have a little bit of rice. Like I love kava.
Yeah.
For me, like kava is like
that's the thing.
Perfect,
the
perfect like post workout.
Nice.
Or just meal in general. I just it tastes so good.
It's like what Chipotle used to be. Like you remember Chipotle used to be so good.
I used to
trash.
I used to go to Fitness Collection in Allen. And I would go and
the Chipotle is like right there. Yeah.
But now, dude, Chipotle's it's not the same.
It's like you get a burrito and it's like that'll be $19, and you're like, this was $6 10 years ago.
I literally remember it was $7.05 with taxes. I used to get a chicken bowl. I didn't get avocado or anything crazy. Yeah. I'm Pakistani at the end of the day. But like if I really want avocado, I'll go home and I'll just
if I get my own queso, I'll go home. I'll melt some cheese and pour it in there. Yeah. Chipotle didn't even have queso back then.
Yeah, they didn't. Yeah.
Way back in the day.
But yeah, the portion size at Chipotle just isn't as good. Like you're paying $2 more, $3 more for kava, but it just tastes so much better. Like the hummus, you get so much different stuff. And for me, that's like, I eat that. I get like half salad, like a little bit of rice. There's chicken. There's like broccoli. There's like tomato onions. There's like all this other stuff, and it's just it tastes so good for me, you know, and for me, like I feel great with it. So honestly, I want to recreate it at home because obviously you don't want to be eating that outside every day. So I'm gonna look into
Just gather all the ingredients in bulk.
yeah, like maybe get like some kind of like like mixed salad kit. Have some rice, chicken, put some hummus tzatziki.
Yeah, yeah.
If
You
they have
could.
harissa, I don't know what's in harissa, but
I don't even.
you never had harissa?
I've never heard of that.
It's like the
Harissa, I never met her. Like no, just yeah. I don't know.
red. It's like a red paste. I don't know. It's like a spicier sauce thing.
Is it like the equivalent of whatever the hot sauce was at Chipotle?
No, I wouldn't say that.
Oh, okay.
No, but
Interesting. That's
I mean,
good,
for me,
yeah.
like diet wise,
Yeah.
and I go based off just like what I've. My thing is, like I feel like I tried keto, I tried this stuff, and I feel like you really have to do it perfectly. At least when it comes to like
100%,
keto.
yeah.
Because then it's like, but you might be deficient in this thing, this thing. It's like, dude, the average Joe is not going to look into it enough to like know what to compensate for.
Yeah.
And obviously, listen, like a standard American diet, super high in sugar.
Super high in fat.
Anything you do
Yeah.
is going to give you results.
Yeah.
Keto's a fad. This is a fad.
Any move you make from the standard American diet, you'll see
Yeah.
something. Yeah, you'll see good things on it.
Yeah. And I feel like, like, is it cool if we talk about like no fap and stuff like that too? Like I don't know. If
Oh,
that's, like-
100%.
okay.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, yeah.
So like even like that stuff, I feel like there's always grains of truth, and the no fap I'm not as like certain with, but
If you're going from like beating 5 times a day to like
Yes,
just
yes.
crazy stuff on the computer, and you go to like nothing, and you go to like, of course it's gonna help you feel more social, and you'll feel like you have superpowers and stuff. Yeah, yeah, bro. I mean, like, yeah, it's like day 2 for me right now, you know. But it's a crazy. It's like the biggest. It's like the only. Like I don't have any vices, you know. Like I don't
Yeah.
like drink or smoke or anything. But it's like.
and I think that the people who
it's the only
go,
vice.
what I realized, like I think that there was a whole like time period in YouTube where I want to say it was like when I was like maybe junior, senior in college. Because I remember like I used to like talk. There was a couple of people like were in my class and they would like spew some of this nonsense. And I'd be like, yeah, this guy's red pill. Like, and it would be like to the point where it's like too much. Like
Yeah.
there's at the end of the day, like you got to be able to like take like jokes. Like you got to be like.
Yeah.
Like you can make red pill to a certain degree, I can respect that, but like there's
But
a
don't
point
be
when-
black. There's like a black pill, right? Like the doomers,
Sure,
like the
yeah.
doomer mindset.
Okay,
Like
yeah.
where they just like are like
Very negative, very like
very negative about everything. Like if they take the essential. Like the red pill is not like anything crazy. It's just like you just get to see behind the curtain of human
Yeah,
nature.
sure.
You can't change anything because you're red pill. You just like know how to react and respond
Yeah.
to things differently. And versus the black pill, they're just like they take the stuff from red pill and they like get jaded. Whereas like
Yeah.
you know, we take the stuff from red pill and we're like, okay, like let's see what we can learn from this and how we can change our life for the better.
Yeah. So I have a question for you. Do you think a certain, like if we're defining terms like red pill or let's say feminism or anything like that, do you think we should go based off like the literary, like technical, what are like the more like, and more intelligent people like is view on it, or should it be like whatever is most used, like most, because at the end of the day, right, we can talk about how it's red pill and this and that, but if it's more commonly used in a certain context, right, like isn't that what it basically is defined as now? Whereas like, yeah, there might be a small subset of people saying it from a more nuanced perspective, let's say, but if the 90% of this community is spewing a certain type of thing, I think at some point we need to call something else, right? Like, but what are your thoughts on? Because for me, like, okay, like,
Go ahead.
So okay, so I want to. The reason I say is because like I read up on feminism, right? And I think like there was a time. This was many years ago. I think I was at a point in my life where I was like watching these YouTube videos. I'm not sure if you ever saw them, but
No, dude, the YouTube rabbit hole's deep. Yeah,
the algorithm was
in there.
terrible, man. Like I remember, like when I got out of it, I was like, oh shit! Like I started watching videos about how like the second like, you watch one Joe Rogan video, next thing you know, you're watching like a couple guys that are a little bit more right wing that he might have had on his podcast, and now you're like watching like all this shit, and there's like people like MGTOWs.
Oh, dude, yeah, that's too. Yeah, big time's too much. I've been there. I've gone down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, so you're going down certain like there's like the incel route. There's people out there, and it's just like. But the thing is, like, if your algorithm is that, and if everything like you're subjecting your eyes to is that, that's what you think is true.
Your entire worldview is going to be that. Yeah.
And then you just have like a pretty shitty worldview. It's toxic. It's unhealthy.
That's how dudes get jaded.
Yeah.
Jaded as in like they read something or they see something and then they get like shaken up and then they get like into that like woe is me. They get into like a very negative mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think there's a reason like a lot of these
Like shaken up, I guess. Yeah.
and a lot of these like mass murder kind of people like they come from that community. Like you'll see like these ex incels like they be doing these things.
Oh,
So it's
dude,
like,
yeah, because that and like those guys, like that's like that. I think those guys are like extremes, you know. Like
Yeah.
I think for me, it was Go ahead, finish your thing, and I'll say my point after. Yeah.
So I think so. Like the reason I say feminism is because like I think at the time it was like it would say like feminism like fail compilation. It'll be like some woman with like purple hair screaming.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
listen,
yeah,
like
yeah,
if
yeah.
that's what you think feminism is, and like
Yeah.
and it's like oh men are trash and like they'll say these things and
Yeah.
it's like oh like yeah like I don't agree with that, right? Like and it's like okay, but I think the more I read into it and I think like it is very egalitarian kind of mindset and like obviously people will take it to the extreme, but I think like the core of it is like listen it's very like, equality for all.
That's
Obviously,
the thing, yeah.
it can obviously person to person. I think people have bias and they have like their own subjective like experiences. So like they might have some of that going into it whenever they talk about
Yeah.
it. But I think like the core of it is like a good thing, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Back when we were in when I was in high, I mean, we're only a couple years apart, but like back when I was in high school, the word feminism just like stood for like male and female equality.
Yeah.
And now I feel like it's turned into something else. But I'm just like when it was just that, I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Like we're all human beings. Yeah, equality makes sense.
Yes.
And then it's like there's some things that like women are really good at that men aren't good at, and there's some things that men are good at that women aren't good at, and like that in itself, I think is equality.
Yeah, I don't
Right?
think
It's
anyone's,
like
no
there's
one's
like
saying,
there's like a list of things that women are like amazingly better at than men, and then there's like a list of things that men are amazingly better at than women.
yeah.
And I think at the end of the day, those things they're not going to be the same things, of course, you know. But like at the end of the day, the stuff that everyone's good at is kind of like they'll converge at one point in time. I feel like.
Listen,
But,
like yeah.
I don't know, but now like the feminism, red pill, all this. Now it's like I feel like everyone's just taking it to like an extreme, you know. Like you got like the,
I think if you're online enough, like
Karens,
you
you got
can
Kates,
yeah
like all that
you
stuff,
can
yeah.
get into some deep shit.
yeah.
Obviously, like
The consumption is crazy, man, because it's like
Yeah.
whatever your inputs are, that's what your worldview is going to be.
And what I'm scared of is like, like people are like, the whole like touch grass, right? Like, but I think there comes a point where like social media, online presence, like it predominantly is your life.
Yeah.
And if the majority of people, if that's their worldview, now you go outside and that's what you're also met with. It's not like, oh, like you only meet these kind of like really weird people online. Now you're seeing these people in real life because now this is what it is.
And they're acting
that's what
like
I'm scared of.
that,
That's
yeah.
why I feel
They're
like
like spewing that in person.
honestly, I feel like I don't know. Hopefully, it doesn't become like this, but I'm really scared that like in the future there'll be a point where like some of these like crazy people online that like into these like very like toxic mindsets.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's gonna be like the average person that you see like on the street, and then because so like listen, social media consumption, being online, like that's just it just increases every year.
I agree. Yeah.
So I think there will be a point. So I think honestly that's something like, and then I think enough to it, and then people that's when like they have that kind of mentality. Now they're lonely. Plus that now they're out here like it can be that's why honestly whenever I see people out there. Like, I try not to, like, engage. Like, those really in a situation where I could have gotten into a fight. I'm glad I didn't because the guy had a knife on him. Like, and like,
Oh, that's tough.
listen, like, you can be as big, you can learn whatever martial art, but at the end of the day, like, if someone has a gun, if someone has a weapon, like, listen,
Yeah,
like,
it's
you're
kind of tough, yeah.
unless you're learning, like, Krav Maga or some shit.
Yeah.
But then you're not expecting it. And then,
Yeah.
this one was at a movie theater, and, like, like, it's just, I don't know. Like, I'm optimistic about the world, but I really hope, I'm also cautious about some of these things.
Yeah. I think it's like that safe optimism where it's like you see the good but you also see the bad, or that people have the potential to be bad but you do see the good in the world. I don't know if you want to try some of this, some raw honey.
I'll try it, yeah, why not?
Yeah. Also not sponsored because here
You just go in?
yeah, I just go in, man. Yeah, this is the only carb I eat, so I kind of just
No fruit?
it's like my dessert. Very, very rarely. I mean, I can have like blueberries and stuff but not too many. But
Oh, damn.
right, isn't that fire?
I never had honey this thick. Or like
Yeah.
this,
Like
usually it's like more
creamy?
liquidy, yeah.
Yeah, this is my favorite, like, post dinner. Also, every podcast I have, like, we always go in on this. I was going on this after.
Nice.
Yeah, there's nothing like two dudes talking about red pill while eating honey, you know? That doesn't exist on the internet yet.
No, it doesn't. No, that's not a thing.
So,
Two guys talking about, yeah.
yeah. But, man, yeah. That space definitely, like, taught me, like, nowadays, I try not to consume too much content from any, because even, like, You know, like when you know where the term red pill comes from, right?
From the Matrix, right?
Yep. Yeah, you've seen the Matrix, right?
Yeah, it's been such a long time. I don't remember it too much, but I remember the whole like blue. Red pill, yeah.
Right. It was like, you know, you take the blue pill, story ends, you go back to sleep, you wake up, none of this ever happens. You live your life comfortably in the Matrix. You take the red pill. I'll show you the world what it really is. That's what Morpheus said to Neo. And so Neo takes the red pill. He wakes up. He leaves the Matrix. And the Matrix was like this thing of like everything is just it's like our normal everyday life. You know, you have 9 to 5, whatever, friends, family, blah blah blah. It's like just day in day out, day in day out. Whereas like they realized that, you know, I mean, hey, this movie's been out for 30 years, so no spoilers, right?
Yeah.
But they realized that there's a bunch of machines that are just controlling, that are like all these human beings are in like a pod, and like they're making like like whatever these guys are seeing and like that's going on in their day-to-day life. It's actually just like all in their heads because the machines are controlling it. Anyways, long story short, like the red pill, like whenever people read the red pill stuff, like I don't know, my introduction to it was like Game, I guess, like Pickup or like Rational Male by Rollo Tomassi. I don't know if you read that,
yeah.
right? But I also took everything with like, I don't know, dude. I take everything with like a
Grain of salt.
Yeah, but like a few grains, like a grain of Celtic salt. You know, it's pretty heavy, right? Pretty big compared to the normal salt. And I'll read it, but I won't make it my end all be all reality until like I've tested it out. You know, it's like, all right, let me see how much truth there is to this, right? And then same thing with like nowadays, where I'm like, all right, I'm pretty set on like where I'm at. I don't need to go down anymore. But I was the same way, dude. Junior and senior year, like high school or of college, I was going down a
lot of guys.
Yeah.
What I realized is a lot of it was like, if you're into the gaming community at all, it was called Gamergate. It was a whole like thing where like people who like watched, who were into games. I forgot what happened, but I think it was something about like there was a certain game and there was like a female like design like the wardrobe designer for this game, it was like a female person who like did it, and I think it did something about like, I think when you think of like the typical game, it's like the female are gonna be like big breasted, stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And I think like she made it so it wasn't like that, and the dudes like hated it. I think this is what happened. I'm not, don't quote me exactly, but I think this is what happened, and there was a lot of hate towards her and stuff like that because she wanted to change. Because listen, like it's like armors, the people are fighting, right? So it's it's not realistic, but obviously, you know, it's a male audience, so what do you expect, right? Like if you want to sell copies, you're gonna, you know, cater to the male gaze, as they say. So, but I think that's how it started, and it got into some really deep shit where, like, if you were anyone who played kind of video games, or especially computer video games, like, you would at some point watch a lot of these, like, red pill kind of videos, and the second you watch one or a couple of them, now your whole feed is that. You're getting Jordan Peterson, you're getting
Stephen Crowder, you're getting Joe Rogan.
I mean, Joe Rogan was, like, your gateway, because he was, like, he has such a huge audience. And I don't watch.
It's like in your recommended, you get like
you get so much shit,
yeah.
And then you'll get I don't. This was like I put this past me now, but I used to be very knowledgeable about this stuff. But I remember Steven Crowder being a big thing. Have you know what that is?
What's his name?
Steven Crowder. He's a right wing like pundit, if you want to say. But basically, what he does, I'm sure you've seen the video. He goes to these college campuses, has a pretty controversial take. He'll have like a sign.
At the table?
Yeah.
Oh, that's that guy?
That's that
I've
guy.
seen him before. Yeah.
So I remember there was one that was like rape culture is a myth. He goes to like a liberal, like more progressive college campus, and he says this. And he says it intentionally to get some rise out of people.
Yeah.
Obviously, people there's like women walking by, and it's like, what the fuck, dude, right?
It's like something changed my mind.
Yeah, changed my mind. Yeah. That's exactly, that was like his little thing. But it would get millions of viewers. And if you go into the comment section, and people like, and the thing is, right, you go to this college campus, people aren't like thinking about these things as much as this guy who's like literally his whole career is based off this, right?
Yeah.
He has this book of facts. He's like fact checking everything. It's like, oh, but technically it's this and this. But it's like, listen, motherfucker, like you're being insensitive. That's first, right? Why are you coming at people like that?
For views, yeah.
It's just for views, right? And like, that's why I was talking to you about how I kind of wanted to make basically a very similar kind of style podcast where it's like changed my mind, but I want to be very like genuine and like actually have conversations with people.
Yeah.
Like this, right? You just talk to people,
shit,
and obviously, like, but I think what I wanted to do as a host would be like, be devil's advocate, and like whatever you believe. Let's say you have a more progressive mindset. I would basically give you ways to look at it from a more conservative point of view. Maybe I might not agree with it,
Yeah.
but it would be my job as a host to like basically put that
Play the other side.
Play the other side, because I think you can learn a lot.
Yeah.
And I think if like obviously I don't think it's one of those things where it's like everything has a middle ground. I don't believe in that.
Yeah.
I don't believe like slavery versus unslavery. There's like a middle ground. There's no middle ground,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I think obviously it's not like that. What I'm saying is like I think there are obviously certain topics where the truth or what makes more sense for society at this current moment is somewhere in between. And I think there is people need to be able to talk. We need to have discussions. I hate the current political system because of it. I hate the current candidates. It's just like people are just too old. We need younger people.
For real. Yeah.
I feel there's so many smart people out there, and I feel like who's running for president?
Like the people who are current candidates' ages are like all in like retirement homes.
I feel like the max age, like it needs to be like 60.
Yeah.
Like there needs to be a cap. 60, 65. Maybe like honestly, maybe like 55, 60. Like I don't know exactly. I haven't thought too much about it, but it definitely needs to be an age cap.
Yeah,
there comes like I mean you can see like
yeah.
like whatever your political affiliations are, right? Like we can see like Biden's like mental capacity just isn't there, right? Like
Dude, I don't even think
this is not a controversial take. This is like a meme
yeah.
at this point, right?
I think people who voted for Biden back in the day are like they regret it now. They're probably like, oh fuck. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm very impartial, bro. I don't really fuck with politics whatsoever.
I don't follow day-to-day stuff.
I do fuck with memes, man. I love
fuck with
memes.
memes,
I
yeah.
fuck with memes heavy.
Memes are heavy, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't really like. I feel like I don't like care about like day to day. Like, oh, what policy did this, and this? Because I feel like a certain policy, right? A conservative think tank will say, oh, like it decreased this by this, like it increased poverty in this part of the country for this. Whereas like the progressive think tank or whatever, you can say, oh, it did this good, this good. So like you can take anything and you can spin it in any way. And I feel like there's so many different takes and opinions that people have. I don't care about day to day. Honestly, it's too much to read. We all live busy lives. You know, you have work. You want to work. You want to focus on yourself, obviously,
Yeah.
and like your family and like
Priorities.
your relationships, right? Like so, like I think like me thinking about politics is like down here already, and now I got to go through like 4, 5, 6 different sources to get under. Like, fuck that.
Yeah.
But for me overall, the way I think of it is, I think of like how should society be ran, right? And I will vote according to who aligns with that more, right? So I think people need to realize that the presidential candidate doesn't have as much power as some people may think.
Yeah.
There's branches of government for a
like
reason.
The figurehead, yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, they play a pivotal role, but I feel like people think like some people might not have enough like knowledge in like politics to understand like the president doesn't do everything. There's like the legislative branch, there's the judicial branch.
Yeah, well, the average reading level of the U.S. is like the third grade.
There was a
reading
quote,
level, right?
I think it was by like Winston Churchill. It's like something about like democracy and how like the average person's dumb, so like it'll like fail.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that we're recording. There's been times where like I'll double check and like we're not recording.
No.
Democracy will fail because the average person.
So there's a quote. Let me see if I can look it
Yeah.
up because it's actually pretty funny. Not that I completely agree with it, but democracy quote. Let me see.
I kind of understand that. It's it's hard. It's hard because politicians have to appeal to the masses, which is why I think Trump does a really good job of it because he talks to people where they're at. Like a lot of politicians talk. Excuse me. A lot of politicians talk like very like smart and like high and mighty and stuff. Trump just like says like normal words, all the time. What's the quote?
Yeah. So, the best argument against democracy is a 5-minute conversation with the average voter. Isn't that pretty funny?
That's so true.
So
That's so true.
yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy how accurate that is.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, dude, I'm always also like very, like the internal locus of control versus the external locus of control.
I'm sure you can expound on it, but
Easier way to think about it. Are you at the ask yourself, are you at the cause of your emotions or at the effect of your emotions? So the internal locus of control is like whatever goes on around you it doesn't change your core beliefs and your core, just like the way you think or like how you feel. Like it could be chaos around you, but you have an internal locus of control. Whereas some people have an external locus of control, to where whatever's happening around them is like impacts how they feel, what they think, what they believe. So a lot of people who have like the internal locus of control, they're at the cause of their emotions, not the effect. So they're like, they feel a certain way, they think a certain way because that's like their beliefs are like very strong versus like they don't let like all this outside chaos or like all these outside things like impact their belief in any type of, no, they don't let anyone else's agenda control them. So
Okay.
yeah, so it's kind of like that. Yeah.
Did you ever read into like MMA stuff? Like, were you ever like into like mixed martial arts or?
Dude, no, it's one thing I never got into. Yeah.
There's a guy.
I don't know any.
If you ever get time, dude, I think
Yeah.
he's a Muslim dude. His name is Faraz. He's a hobby.
Oh wait, I do know Pharrell Zabi. Yeah, he was on Joe Rogan. Yeah.
Did you ever watch that podcast?
I did. Where he was talking
That
about
shit changed my like.
we were talking about
my
like
mindset
working
a lot.
out like five times a week light versus 3 times a week heavy.
I don't remember that portion of it. I'm sure he might have mentioned that.
What portion? Yeah, like tell
So
me.
I think one thing that I still.
Man,
like,
I remember that dude. You said the name, and I was like, that's the only
he
guy I
says
know.
he's a very down to earth, very genuine kind of dude. There was a time in my life, and I was like, bro, I low key want to go to Canada and like train with him.
Just hang out with him.
He has this thing. I don't know if he still has it, but it was like a gym, but people like lived at the gym. Like they'd be like,
Wow.
It'd be like building like right on top of it, where like people it was like dorming, like you could sleep there.
Day.
And basically, you can go and like train with this guy, and it's like a lifestyle. Like you go, like you wake up with
Like a
everybody.
90 days boot camp or whatever.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like it was, and I was like, bro, this could be fun. Maybe one day we'll see.
Dude,
But
I'd be down to do that. Actually, I don't do any like MMA. I've never done any combat sports in my life, but
I did jiu-jitsu for a little while.
Yeah. Wait, well, you're saying like what was the podcast about?
So I don't know. Okay, there's a lot of topics.
Yeah.
He goes into like I think he goes into religion a little bit. He goes into philosophy a little bit. He's a very smart dude.
Yeah,
He talks about George St. Pierre. You know George St. Pierre?
Yeah, GSP.
So he was like his trainer.
That's right. Yeah, that's what you're saying.
So George, like, when I was looking at George St. Pierre, he had like really fit body, but he was into gymnastics. Very functional kind of athlete.
Is GSP the one who has ulcerative colitis? Or Crohn's?
Maybe.
Or something?
I think yeah, I think so. I think he had something like
something
that.
about that. Yeah.
I think
Years
so.
ago. Yeah.
But this guy was like really good.
Yeah.
He had a really impeccable record in UFC. Just fit, strong, like a lot of functional stuff, gymnastics. But basically, his trainer, very smart dude, Muslim guy. But he was talking about. I remember there's one thing he talked about like, being in a flow state.
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
I forgot who the guy was. It's like Mishek Mihai. This is a guy.
Mihai, check Mishai.
Yes,
the Russian guy. Yeah.
That's cool. You know that shit. Yeah, that's cool, man. But it was about like, I think if there's like, you don't want anything that causes too much stress.
Yeah.
But you also don't want it to be easy.
Too easy. Yeah. You want to be in that.
You want to find that flow state. And for me, I was like, man, I need
that's so good.
That's been like a guiding principle in my life. I try to get to that flow state, and whatever I try to do. So even like with work or like in fitness and anything, I really try. I mean, sometimes I forget about it, but
I love it because, dude, I know exactly what you're talking about because the graph looks like this. He's like.
Yeah.
It's like this is
No.
too. This is like if the challenge, if like whatever, if it's here, then you're gonna have like boredom.
Yeah.
And if
I
it's a
don't want,
challenge
like,
too
much
high,
stress.
and it's like anxiety.
Anxiety or stress.
But here you're like in flow, dude. I know
flow.
that exact same graph
And
because I've rewatched that. That's the one where that's the clip I've seen where he talks about like how fighters in the U.S. train Monday, Wednesday, Friday hard. Like they do like a couple hours a day. They kill themselves. They kill their bodies like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Versus like in other parts of the world.
They're more playful.
They'll do like 70. Yeah, they're playful. They like just do like light tapping.
That, yeah.
Yeah.
I think
dude,
in Russia, he was saying they're more like that.
Russia. Yeah, I found that so dope. A lot of people in the comments didn't understand it because they were like, they thought he was talking about like lifting weights, but he wasn't talking about lifting weights. But I do understand. Like, I don't know if you could apply. Anyways, I don't know if you could apply the same principle, but I remember that. That's like my most. I watched that clip of Faraz Zahabi talking about flow state.
Oh,
at least like once every 3 months, dude. It's so.
I need to go back and watch that podcast.
Yeah.
I think it's not like Joe Rogan's on Spotify once he got bought out, but
I think the clip is still on YouTube.
I'm sure the clip is still out there.
Yeah.
I just don't like. I haven't listened to a Joe Rogan podcast ever since it moved.
Same.
I feel like I used to like click on some. I remember Namer, he told me about Huberman, so I think I watched some of that.
Oh, when Huberman was on Joe Rogan?
Yeah. But I haven't really. I wonder like how his viewer count. I'm sure. I know he got a fat paycheck for what he did.
Yeah, 100 mil, dude.
Yeah,
crazy.
but he was really climbing. So I wonder like if someone has ever like did like an analysis of like people can make more money.
I've seen him post like long form content on YouTube again too.
Really?
So I don't know what. Maybe he like had a portion of his time where he was just on Spotify, and now he's everywhere again. I don't know, but yeah, man, those I used to watch a lot of like those JRE clips, like whatever that YouTube channel is. I'll watch it here and there.
Did you see like now it's just like AI stuff like
it's like, so much
voiceover? It's so funny. It's like those are kind of funny.
Also, I have this extension on my browser that blocks my YouTube feed. So I can't see recommended videos. You know what I mean? So like when I open up YouTube,
it's just a video that you're watching.
It's actually just like a dude. Hold up, I'm gonna grab my laptop. I'm gonna show you real quick. It's my work laptop, but in essence,
this one is fucking good. I need to like. You should probably move this because I'm like eating too much of it.
You can have as much as you want, bro. I got like another 3 jars downstairs. All right. So if I like open up. If I open up YouTube, oh, that's my channel. Here we go. Boom. All right. If I open up, this is what my YouTube homepage looks like. Isn't that crazy?
Oh shit!
It's just empty, right?
Oh, I thought it was still loading. Okay.
No, it's empty, right? So like, it's on purpose because I have this. It's called unhook, and it's like remove, like hide video sidebar, hide recommended. Like if I wanted to, like I could turn all these on, but it's like hide. It pretty much hides like everything. I just need to turn notifications on. Hide home feed, right? But like boom, like it's so dope. I love it because
it's called Unhook.
Unhook,
That's
yeah.
cool.
It's a Chrome extension or like Brave extension, whatever. And then like if I click on a video, right, like whatever. Actually, we'll do like I'll do whatever Jerry clips, right? And I'll click whatever. Like there's no videos in the sidebar, right? Yeah, and there's a way you can even like if you really want to, you can turn comments off, and you can hide. I love hiding shorts. I hate getting on shorts.
Shit. Okay. Nice.
So it's really cool.
That's really
when
cool.
I don't have Facebook anymore, but when I was on Facebook, I would do the same thing where it would like hide my homepage, and so it's a great productivity hack because I'm not like the algorithm hits, right? The algorithm hits, and then like you're saying, sometimes you go down the rabbit hole because that's all your eyeballs are seeing. So this way, like it cuts out the algorithm, at least for yourself.
That's actually really nice.
So it's nice, man.
Nice
productivity hack.
I'm not looking to maybe get that because that would help.
Yeah, it's free. Nice productivity hack. Not sponsored.
Not sponsored for
yeah, not sponsored, but you should do it to. Well, actually, don't do it because then you might not get recommended my videos.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But hopefully they're just looking it up.
Yeah, hopefully you're just going to my channel and then sharing it with your friends. So download, get the extension, get the Chrome extension. Yeah.
No, but the reason I said the flow state is because I think he mentioned it with working out because it was like you can like push yourself and you're gonna be sore for a few days. Whereas if you like, and let's say you might be getting like 2 hours of like mixed martial arts training. Let's say I think he did regards to training.
Yeah.
Versus if you did 30 minutes a day.
Yeah.
You're getting like. What is that, like 2.5 hours? Let's say you train really hard, you might get an hour and a half. You might get like another whole hour per week if you did more
the mini ones, the small sessions,
smaller sessions and like not taxing yourself as much.
Right. You can put it down if you want.
Yes.
Yeah. Unless you want some more, if you want, feel free to help yourself.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's like, why kill yourself 3 days a week when you're just like sore constantly instead of now, dude? I kind of follow that for the gym now, where I'm just like I'll go into the gym, I'll kind of just hit some light stuff, whatever I want, so that way the next day I can go back to the gym and like, I won't hit the same muscle group, but I can hit. I'm not dying. I'm still functional.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things he says in that podcast is like, it's like you want to use working out to have a tonic effect, not like to where you're killing yourself. You want to like use it to like feel good, get the endorphins rushing.
Obviously, yes.
And then like you get out, you're just done.
So I think it also depends what your goals are.
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
Like if your goal is to like be as big as possible, then you have to tear the muscle a lot more.
Yeah, you're gonna be in the gym for a few hours just for
and you basically you
10 sets of 10 or whatever.
And you're trying to achieve, especially once you get to like more advanced stages, you're having to do so much volume and so much intensity to actually continue to grow.
Yeah.
That like, and I feel like a lot of ways like if you're trying to go like competitive bodybuilding, like you can't really do other stuff as like nearly as like you can't like be like a good basketball player.
Yeah.
And be like insane
I agree.
bodybuilder, because like you're gonna lose out, right?
Yeah.
Like in that mass, it's gonna slow you down a little bit. But there's like the whole hybrid athlete thing. I'm sure if you've looked into that, but there's a guy. I think his name's like Nick Bear or something. But he's like pretty swole dude, but he runs. He runs so much. So,
Oh, wow.
So he basically his whole thing is lifting and running.
Nice.
So he's very like fit, but he's pretty big too. But he also has like really nice genetics. So I'm sure that plays a part.
Hell
But
yeah.
I think it's really hard to, like, and I think would you rather be like a master, like jack of all trades, master of none, or would you rather be like a focus on one type of thing?
Dude, I think I am a jack of all trades right now. Not
Okay.
all trades, but like some trades. Like I was talking with
Sure.
the other day when we were at the restaurant. Like Suman was showing me some stuff on her phone of like she's like, hey, I got this at like this like Facebook Marketplace sale or whatever. And she's a pharmacist, right? So I was like, oh, cool. You got like these things. Like you got some pestle mortars. You got some Erlenmeyer flasks. You got
Sure.
some foods. You got some scales, whatever. And then like her, I think boyfriend or whatever was just like, how do you know all these things? Are you in chemistry too? And I was like, no, I just know a little about a lot. And then she's
Yeah.
like, jack of all trades, master of none. And I was like, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. But like, it's just nice. I'd rather know a little about a lot of subjects rather
Yeah.
than, I don't know, man. It seems pretty cool to just like go all in on one thing though. But I also want to like be able to speak in all form
Yeah.
and everything.
I think so. The way society has progressed, we're at a point where I feel like there was a time when like certain person, like you had to be able to fix your car, be able to like fix things around the house.
Yeah.
Also have like your own thing, and like basically you needed to be more of a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
We're at a point now where if you want to maximize your financial success,
You gotta
specialize.
choose one thing.
Because I could spend, but you'll get to a point where like no one who's a billionaire is mowing their own lawn. Like you understand, like
That's true. Yeah, because they're buying their time back.
yeah. So like, and I think there's value in that, but I think there's also value in being able to know how to like fix like a fence and stuff. I think there's like
Changing a light bulb.
and I feel like there's a little bit of fulfillment you get when you're able to do that, rather than just like having someone do it. So
Yeah.
honestly, I wrestle with this because for me, it's like I'm at a point now in my career where I make a decent amount of money. I don't have to do all these things, and it makes more sense for me to like, let's say you work a certain amount of day, like your work is basically fixed the amount of time, your sleep is decently fixed, meals, and then you have your hobbies, your sports, whatever. Of the time that's left, it makes more sense to just delegate certain tasks, right? But at the same time, then it's like, then you maybe, I think this is like my own issue, but maybe you feel a little bit less masculine because you can't do certain things, or like sometimes you just get more fulfillment in doing those things.
Yeah,
and
accomplishing tasks. Your brain releases dopamine when you accomplish tasks.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why. But like, it depends what they are. I mean, a lot of people say like to outsource cooking and cleaning. People say like get a chef, get a maid as like the first thing you do when you get rich to buy those hours back.
Yeah.
I understand that, but also like, I like cooking my own food, so I
Yeah.
wouldn't hire a chef, and like, this house isn't that big to need a maid.
Yeah.
Like I
No,
also
I get
don't
it,
think,
yeah.
and like when I get my own place, like I want to live in it, dude. I want a small house, bro. I do not want a big house.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't need a maid, but like, I understand when people are saying that. Like if someone's making like $100 million a year, like if their net worth is like $100 million, or like even like a couple $1 million, bro. Like
I mean, a few million, you could definitely.
If you're still like you shouldn't be mowing your own lawn. You shouldn't be like fixing things around the house yourself, like or your car. Take your car to a mechanic. Like outsource everything.
Yeah.
Outsource as much stuff as you can for sure. Like
Yeah.
save buy all that time back.
Yeah. No, I think that's still what you should do.
Yeah.
But like deep down, I feel like there's benefits in being able to know how to do it yourself.
Yeah. I mean, some stuff you could do yourself, but dude, if like something breaks in my car, like I don't know how to fix. I'm taking it to a mechanic, bro.
Yeah.
Like I'm not getting under there.
No,
but dude, Anik, he's that dude's built different, bro. He'll put that thing up on he'll like jack that thing up and he'll like put it on his ramp, bro. And he'll spend like 10 hours of a Texas summer day underneath his car, like fixing stuff.
Amen.
Man, that dude's built different. But like me, I'm like, yeah, bro. I'm gonna take this mechanic. I'm gonna pay him $500 because like I don't want to waste
Yeah, I
time
mean
on that.
that's yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of cars, man, how's the Miata treating you?
It's pretty good.
I
dude.
wrote that down. I wrote that down as the second
saw
thing. Yeah.
Glanced over there, I saw that.
Yeah.
Miata's great, man. I got a pretty good deal on it. Bought off some guy who basically had a baby on the way, so he basically needed to get out of the coupe, the two-seater. So he already had purchased the other vehicle. I think he was just looking to kind of sell it. I think I looked out. I've had it for, I want to say, a little over a year now. I think I bought it like early last year, like in the early like summer-ish.
Nice.
It might have been like spring, summerish, but no, I mean I love it, dude. It's a great car. There's definitely cons to it. Don't get me wrong. It's a very small car, so sometimes you'll be driving, and especially in Texas and stuff, like there's so many semis and whatnot.
big trucks and stuff.
That, like sometimes they just don't notice you, and you got to be cautious. And there's so many times, man. It's not even semis. It's just like I'm just driving. I feel like semis they're like a little bit better at driving because like being like a CDL, they need to be more cautious because they realize like they fuck up like it could be like multiple deaths.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the average Joe driver, especially with like social media being like people are just on their phones. I'm on my phone a lot too. I'm not even gonna like try to like be like some like higher than thou. I'm the same shit. Like I'm on my phone a lot. I need to work on that.
Yeah.
But people are on it and like they just don't notice you. Like they might make that like lane shift, and I'm having to like typically I think you either drive very defensively. Like if I was in some like Ram, what's it called, like whatever F-150 or something, like I gotta like I can't just like do whatever the fuck I want. It's like you got to be cautious. That's only I think that's one of the cons. I think another con is that because it's such a small car, it can be inconvenient at times when you're traveling and.
Oh yeah. Or like when you do like carpool with people or something.
Yeah, but honestly, it's a con and a pro because sometimes people might
you
ask you for rides.
People,
ask you for rides. No one's gonna ask you to pick you up from the airport because the luggage isn't gonna fit.
The luggage isn't gonna fit exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Is there? There's no back at all.
There's a trunk, but it's very small.
But it's like a complete like it's like a 2-seater. There's nothing in the back at all.
No.
Wow.
It's just 2-seater,
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Now, I remember I went to this guy. I was gonna buy these speaker stands. We found this guy on Facebook Marketplace. My dad's like, it was like a Sunday. I was like, just come with me, It was a good day. We put the top down. We were driving. It was honestly great. We get there. The guy's like, I think the speaker stands they're like super cheap. Like he was literally selling speakers like towers.
Yeah.
For like only a little bit more. So I was like, let's just buy the damn tower.
Yeah.
Right. You don't got to set it up on the speaker stand. It's gonna sound better. But the issue is we couldn't like fit in the car.
No.
So we were like, fuck. So like I had to put the top down. Like I'd like squeeze my dad into it. He was like holding the speakers. We got it to work.
Yeah.
We got it to work. But obviously, I think it can be inconvenient at times.
Yeah.
But when it's nice, like right now when I drive back home after this.
Oh,
podcast,
you're gonna roll with the windows, the top down. Yeah.
It's something else, man.
Fire.
Put on some vibey music and you're just got the wind blowing in your hair.
Man, next level.
It's therapeutic.
Yeah.
But I feel like I've always I'm weird, man. I feel like I find therapy in like different shit. Like sometimes like Russell Creek Park. I used to like dude like I shit you not. I look back, I kind of laugh. But I would usually like go over there, take off all my shoes, my socks and everything, take off my shirt, and I would just run around like in the grass.
That's amazing. I feel like a kid. Yeah.
And it's not even just that. You just feel like free,
Yeah.
And it's just obviously I'd go during a time when like not many people were there.
Yeah.
Like early morning sometimes. And grounding. I don't know if you know about grounding, but
yeah.
Just like putting my feet in the sand.
Yeah. And the volleyball court.
Yeah. So I would just do shit, and I would just like chase rabbits. I don't know. It's weird, man. Like, but it was fun for me at the time, and I feel like in a lot of ways I think sometimes you need those primal things to just come out sometimes.
I agree. Yeah. No, that's big. The primal stuff is important.
I feel like we all have
walking
a little bit
barefoot.
of it.
Yeah, it's big.
I mean, walking out barefoot. This is not like a me thing. This is like well
documented
that
agreed.
this is like good for your feet.
Yeah.
Especially like modern day shoes, they squeeze.
Yeah.
They squeeze like what they do is like your feet are supposed to be like out here.
Yeah.
What they do is like they're very narrow, so they
Yeah.
squeeze it in, and then you'll have some people get like I don't know what it's called, but it's like a thing that's the outmost toe. It's like bunny, but it's also something else.
Gout.
No, it's not
something
gout.
else.
But there's some like fasciitis or something. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
But like they'll get some of that.
Yeah.
That's why there's certain companies
Yeah.
that make wider.
I've seen
toe box.
Or like the barefoot shoes, or whatever.
There's like Vivo Barefoot.
Vivo, yeah.
There's I think there's like Ultra or something. I remember I used to have those running shoes, but like they're very wide toe box, so you can kind of splay your feet. And honestly, like you can even get those like spacers in the beginning.
I've seen those, yeah.
And then that might help for the temporary, just to, like get your feet to splay more.
Yeah, because my feet are like my toes are like fucked up. Yeah. For sure.
But I think listen, like your feet connects you to the ground.
Agreed.
So everything, if your feet are like fucked up, like your whole body.
Yeah.
So
that's why people when people roll the bottom of their feet, if they have like back pain, they roll the bottoms of their feet, their back will feel better. Yeah. Because everything
stems from it's a kinetic chain. It all.
Yep. Kinetic chain, posterior chain, all that good stuff, man. So it's big. We talked about something just a second ago.
Let's talk about relationships and like.
Dude, there's one thing I wanted to touch on. You mentioned that I was just like. I didn't say anything because I didn't want to interrupt, but then we moved on too fast.
Was it about for us? Was it about?
Oh, it was about it was like what you like did to feel like free, the freedom like running around thing. Do you remember like when we were kids, we'd like run around inside Kane,
Yeah.
right? And like how that was like so much fun,
Yes,
whatever. And
yes.
so I was at Main Kane after like a Boy Scout thing one night, and the inside, like some of our leaders went inside the prayer hall to like help set up some mic stuff. The entire prayer hall is like wide empty, so we walk in there with our socks on, right, and just kind of hang out, and we're just chilling, waiting for them to get done. And and he just like starts running, like, and he's like, dude, I've always wanted to like play football in here. And I was like, dude, it'd probably be a good time. Like we'd always run around as kids and stuff. And so like he just started running around inside like at Main Con and stuff. And then I was like, he's like, dude, this is so much fun. Try it. And I was like, all right, whatever. So I started running around, and like I could not stop smiling.
What time was it? Was it like?
Dude, it was like 11 p.m.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it was like way after Con, right? Because we were there for like a different some other event, but like I was just like running around and stuff, and then like I grabbed my friend Asel, and I was like, dude, you gotta try this. He's like, no. He was like kind of being like scared, and I was like, dude, come on, like it's literally just like there's like two random adults, and then like one couple guys that we knew, and then he ran. We all started like running around and stuff. Dude, it felt like, dude, that was like I could not stop. I had the biggest smile on my face. I could not stop smiling.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You know what reminds me? Okay, like so there's a I'm not gonna like say names, but you might know the person. He's a guy who goes to Plano Kane, and he has 3 kids. I remember like the way I feel like. I don't know if he did this intentionally, but I feel like whenever I was like growing up, I mean, this was a while back. I mean, I think the kid's a little bit older now, but growing up, like I feel like he was very like he didn't like manage the kids at all. Like it kind of the kid would be just like running around, making noise, and he wouldn't. Like, I know a lot of parents like to go and, like grab him and stuff. Like he didn't do any of that stuff. He was just kind of just like completely hands off. And I feel in a lot of ways I feel like we need to maybe not to that much of an extent because obviously there's prayers, you know, that you're going to be disturbing people, but I think there's some. There needs to be more of that.
Yeah,
like
when I was a kid, like live and let live. Yeah.
When I was a kid, man, I remember we used to like after elementary school, I would just like go to people's houses. I would just like walk there. We used to go to this guy's house. His name was Hunter. It was like literally like Rice Middle School. Just down the street. We'd go. Yeah. We'd play football. We'd like go to the pool. We'd just go to the park. Like it was just so much fun.
Yeah, a lot of freedom. Yeah.
So much freedom.
A lot of freedom and no responsibilities.
Yeah, but I feel like kids nowadays they're just not like. I think like obviously there's phones, there's technology. I think people are just on that more, but I don't think kids are like out there doing. And I think there's just, I'm not sure if there's more like danger now in the sense of like safety concerns. Like obviously there's like predators out there. There's all this stuff. I think people as a parent you got to be aware of these things.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there's more now than there were like 20 years ago. Maybe not. But there was a time. I mean, obviously like I'm a '90s baby. You're a '90s baby. Like think like even before us, right? Like.
Oh, dude, that's all they did. There was there wasn't even technology. Like back in our day, we had like. I mean, even in middle school, like early.
I think I got my first phone probably like middle school.
Yeah, I got mine in 7th grade, but like even before then, like I remember like dial-up? Like you can be on the phone and the computer, like the home phone, like the landline, and you can be on the computer at the same time.
I don't remember that, but yeah.
It was like, you were born in what, 97?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess maybe like it, like I think like in 2000.
Maybe it wasn't. Actually, maybe I just don't remember.
2003, 2004, like the stuff started going away, but like there's like you couldn't use the landline and the computer at the same time. It was just imagine that, like you couldn't use the home phone and be on the internet at the same time.
Yeah,
it was crazy, right? And so, and like if like Gen Z is watching this right now, they can be like, "Oh, these fucking boomers, what are they talking about?" Right? But it's like back then, like there was no other choice besides to like go hang out outside. I remember like riding my scooter around my like apartment building like over and over again, right? Or like same thing, like hanging out with friends at Kanye and then like going to their house for sleepovers or something. But. Yeah.
Different times, man. Like
different times, dude. Yeah, and the generation before us, dude, they probably did more of that, you know?
Yeah, even more, yeah. Sometimes, like, I feel like I say your generation, we're only a couple years older, but like, I feel like let's say my brother's generation, like 4 years before me, like, I feel like mid-90s and earlier, like 90s and like, I feel like that was like, if I had to like pick, I wish I was kind of born a little bit earlier.
Just a few years before?
A few years earlier. I feel like, but also I think growing up, I hung out with my brother's friends a lot. Growing up, and like, I always just felt a little bit. I felt more comfortable with them.
Yeah. You
know, I felt like they were a little bit more true. I feel like I could just talk to them a little bit better. And I still find that now sometimes. I might not like have the same interests as much. I feel like, but I think it just depends on the person. I don't think it's like an age thing at this point. I think we're all a little bit older now. So, but I think growing up, I was always like, I think I kind of gravitated more towards my brother's friends, and I'd like play sports with them, hang out with them a lot more.
Yeah.
But I think the times were just different. Like even when you look at like videos, like old school videos of like, I remember like the whole Kobe thing, like that happened. They were like used to play like videos from him like when he was in like high school and stuff. bro, like it just seemed like it was different. Like I feel like there was like so much less like judgment. There was so much less like, just like
Simplicity.
it was so much simpler. Like,
The world was a very
it just
simple
seemed
time.
different. Like
It's been 12 years since 2012, and I just remember that was like I just started my senior year of high school in 2012,
yeah,
and I just remember that time period was very like everything was very low pressure, and there wasn't. I mean, I think the iPhone 5 had just come out, maybe, right, or the 4S or the iPhone 5 or something, right? But like technology wasn't as advanced as it was now. Like there was nothing. There's none of this crazy stuff. Like I remember today I watched like Steve Jobs unveils the first MacBook Air.
okay.
Do you remember that? Do you remember when
I
he
remember.
did that?
I'm not sure on the MacBook Air, but I remember it being like the first. It was like something.
He had it
crazy
like
ass computer.
he had it like in this like manila envelope, and then he opens the envelope and he pulls out a laptop.
Oh, okay.
Because the MacBook Air was like this super thin back then, right?
Yeah.
Bless you. Oh,
Okay. I'm glad you did it.
yeah. So I remember he pulled it out, and I was like, dang, this was 2008. Like he's literally going in there, and he's like talking about like he's like using the trackpad. He's like, what we've done is we've designed the trackpad so you can do this, and if you go like this, you can zoom into pictures. Everyone's like, whoa, yeah. And it's like also what you can do is we've done it. If you put two fingers on the trackpad and you look at an image, you can look up, you can like move like through the image, and I was like, dang, bro, like that was so advanced in 2008,
No,
and it's such a
16 years
simple
ago.
thing now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So at the time, everything that came out back then was so dang, bro, you gotta stop keeping the door open. Everything was so like we thought everything was so advanced because everything new back then was the first time it had ever happened.
was the
Do you
first of
remember
everything,
the first iPhone was like this big? Do you remember that? Like the first
it was
iPhone was
smaller?
like
Oh, yeah.
the iPhone 3GS was like this big.
Okay.
Remember, like you would just like it was like maybe a little bit wider, but
Bro, I didn't have that. I had one of those like I don't know, it was a Nokia, but it was like you flip it open. It's like a huge like.
oh, the keyboard like this.
Keyboard, yeah. The side slot.
Yeah.
Was that Motorola? What was
Dude,
that?
there's a bunch. I had one. It was like an LG.
LG
Xenon.
something, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. I had one of those. Like it was like flipped up. Dude, I remember those, man. Having a full keyboard, that was the shit. Like if you had a full keyboard back then, you were pimping. Like
Blueberries were a thing. Blueberries on
Blackberries, yeah.
Blackberry, yeah, that's what it's called, yeah, Blueberry.
Yeah, man. It was nuts.
Do you think it's gonna be one of those things where it's like progress has been so fast?
Yeah.
Let's say the past like 20 years, let's say.
Yeah.
Do you think it's gonna be like the same like level of progress?
Man,
or
I
do you
think-
think like a lot of it has
I think maybe it goes exponential from here.
really even more and more? Really?
Yeah, I think like 'cause it started like here, right? And then it started like going up like this. I think that this is the trajectory.
Really.
I hope the trajectory is more like this. You know?
Yeah.
Like very like it kind of plateaus out. I want that to be the trajectory because I think that the past, I would say even from 2015 to now, right? Past 9 years, like 10 years, right? That like the past 10 years has just been such a this like has been such a this already.
Yeah.
That I don't know what the next like I don't know like what are the next 10 years going to be? Because
Yeah.
like from 2000 to 2010 it was like that slow, like all these like all the foundation stuff got done, and then like in 2010 to 2020 people use the foundation work to like accelerate, and then from 2020 to 2024 people have just like like it's like stuff is just shot
all
up.
the AI stuff that's huge.
Yeah, crazy.
That's probably gonna lead to
imagine
a lot
having
of-
ChatGPT when we were younger. Like imagine.
Do you ever like think back of like how we did it? Like me, like I feel like my also like my dopamine receptors are just fried. I have like ADHD. I feel like I have like all like the DDs. Like I don't know. I have like everything.
Yeah. You
But
have the double D's.
that's
Yeah, you gave me an opening, but I had to take it.
No, go ahead.
But yeah.
What was I talking about? No, but thinking back, like
yeah.
7-8 hours of school, dude. Like taking it, like, dude. I think back at that shit. I'm like, how the hell did I do that?
Yeah, and like how kids are struggling right now. Kids are struggling hard right now to have the attention. Like I'm glad everything happened the way it did because we didn't lose out on our childhood attention spans.
The fundamental years we kind of we still had.
We still had.
That's why I feel like if I was a little bit, if I was born a few years earlier, I think it'd been really good. 'Cause I think I would have gotten, hopefully, if I could have gone through high school without any kind of like imagine that. I feel like it would be very different.
Yeah, there's people who went through their entire high school life
Without
like
social media.
without social media, no iPhone, no nothing.
Yeah.
And back then everyone had like a Facebook, but you can only get on Facebook from your computer.
Like, that was a MySpace.
Yeah, MySpace.
Did you ever do AOL Messenger? Did you do
I did
Yahoo
AIM,
Messenger?
dude, AIM, yeah. I was never on Yahoo Messenger, I was on AOL Instant
Bro,
Messenger.
I remember that. I went back to my Yahoo Messenger the other day, I was looking back. I was like, bro, what the fuck?
It's probably so cringy.
It was like a smiley people. I was like
Yeah.
chatting up, and I was like, bro, like, I remember doing like, oh my god, I remember we were in an REC class, and we used to play Heads Up 7 Up.
Yeah.
Okay, like I don't know if you guys ever did that, but like,
Yeah,
and then the class would play Heads Up 7 Up, and like, it's just like I just have so many stories. It's just like you're so young, and it's just like I don't know.
Everything just is like so new when you're young, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I remember everything. Like you remember your first everything when you're young. You know.
Life just seemed more vast. It just seemed bigger. It seemed more.
Yeah, because the older you get, the more life you've lived, right?
Yeah, that's also true.
So it's like also it's like have you noticed how like time is going by really fast now?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
the whole like year will fly by like this and you don't even notice it.
Yeah. Like I'm already 26, man. Like I don't feel 26.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe early 20s if I had to. I mean.
Oh,
yeah.
dude, mentally, I feel like I'm still 19.
Yeah, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
You know.
But in reality, it's like I'm gonna be 30 in like 6 months, 7 months. Time flies, bro. 8 months. I don't know. I just turned 29, like in March, so I got some time. But still, it's the vastness, dude. The vastness and the simplicity. I just remember life being so simple, bro. Mm-hmm. So, but hey, now it's like it's up to us to make the next, whatever. We reminisce about the last like 10 years. Now it's up to us to make the next like 10 years memorable and focus in on that. And I don't know if you ever have kids or something, make sure that they have a proper upbringing.
Do you want kids? Is that something?
Dude, I don't know, bro. Not right now.
I mean, I'm not saying right now. I'm saying like just in general.
Yeah.
One day, maybe.
Maybe one day, yeah. But like, it has to be.
What are your reasons for not?
Mostly like
cost or what?
Just the right finding the right person to have kids. Sure. I think that's like the most important decision ever.
Yeah.
Finding the right person. Because I have like four homies, like four like close friends in my inner circle that all have kids, but they all have like baby mama drama.
Oh shit. Okay.
And so like I'm not trying to just not.
No, you don't want that kind of situation.
Yeah. But shout out to you guys, man. You guys are all dads. You know who you are. But yeah, man.
Start saying the names. No.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and you want to talk about relationships and stuff. Yeah, we can jump into
what
that.
Are you? Do you believe in? Let's start broad. Do you believe in like monogamy, like
not anymore?
Nope.
Not
anymore.
Nope.
So you don't believe like in marriage?
Nope. Oh hell no, not anymore. Definitely not. Yeah, I don't believe in signing a contract with the state to, like, with some like to show somebody that. I don't want to bring the state into my relationship. That's my biggest thing. Okay. I also don't want to sign a contract in Jamaat Khana either.
Like the NICA contract.
I don't want to do that. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Those are two things I don't want to do. I could be married. I could get married, but like I don't want it.
So you just want but okay, so not marriage, but you said monogamy you don't want either, right? So you don't want like one.
I don't think so, bro. I don't think it's like biologically. I don't think it's possible. People do it. Some people do it, but I don't think it's possible biologically. Personally, though. What about you? I know you just came out of a relationship like recently. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, I think.
So you don't have to.
I think I still have like the traditional kind of like. I think it's nice. Like, listen, like, obviously, there's pros and cons to everything, right? Yeah. Like, there's so many people in the world, like. Personally, I feel like I think. Sometimes you just need someone, right? Mm-hmm. Like, and it's nice having that comfort and having basically like a long life friend, like lifelong friend.
Yeah.
So I think there's definitely benefits. I can see why people who aren't like I'm not gonna like bash them or like you live your life as long as you have that like if you're as long as you're making that clear to whoever you're seeking out. I have no issue, right? Like, and then I literally had a conversation to talk about like I'm gonna tie it back to gender a little bit, but I remember I joined one of these like smiley like conversation debate kind of things. It's been a couple of years, and it was during COVID because I was like bored. I was like, let me join. Mm-hmm. And they were talking about how like there was a woman on the discussion. She was like ranting, complaining about how like all these guys that they basically want like a stay-at-home mom, like a stay-at-home wife, and she was like complaining how like that's not like fair, this and that, and I was like, listen, like I disagree with her. I was like, listen, people can have their preferences. Yeah. Right. Like
yeah, exactly. Everyone has their own preferences.
Yeah, listen, there's tons of people out there, right, who choose like as long as you make it clear, right, like as long as you're not forcing anyone to do anything.
As long as you're upfront about it and the other person agrees.
Yeah. So I was telling him, I was giving examples like, hey, like I know someone, right? She has kids. For her, it wouldn't make sense to go like back to school or go like do this career and then pay for daycare, do this, like you're netting less because like daycare costs a lot of money first off.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Right, and it's not going to be as good as like, you taking care of your own kids.
Yeah.
Right. So
you being there for them.
Yeah. So first off, like you're basically like paying money to get less. Obviously, if you have like a more prestigious career, or if you want to do that, right? Like I'm saying, like people should have preferences. And for her, it was like all these guys they want this. And it's like, hey, don't go for those guys, right? Like if you want to be like if you want to do that, you don't want to be a stay-at-home wife, mom. Like,
find a dude who wants.
Yeah, it's not the issue. But for her, it was like no, like they need to change the way they think. It's like, dude, you can't.
That's not gonna happen. You can't make somebody else change. Yeah.
Same reason why, like, listen, like for me, like honestly, like if I'm at a point where I'm like financially successful enough to where like my future wife can, and she wants to do that, like if she wants to work, like, dude, dual income, I'm not gonna complain, dude. Like
dual income, yeah, no kids for a little bit.
Or even if this kid, like dual income is still better, right?
Yeah.
Like and as long as like we still do
everything,
like take care of the kids and stuff too. Like
as
long as we're not all the time, like but obviously we're Pakistani. I have my parents.
Yeah.
She'll have her parents. Like like. It's much better, like it's more. It's a lot more family.
That's what I like about
oriented.
our culture is like very family oriented.
Yeah.
We put family as like a big value.
Yeah,
so
my grandparents live with me, like with my family, like their whole life. I mean, like like ever since I was born, like my grandparents live with me, right? So lived with us. So I think there's like a lot of benefit in that, right? So thankfully, like the whole like daycare situation wouldn't probably need to be a thing.
Yeah.
But I remember I like disagreed with her, and like everyone was hating me. And I was like, dude, like people can have their preferences, dude.
It is. It's just a preference at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
I mean, good.
Dude, like, what do you think? Like, would you want like a traditional kind of relationship, or like, what would you be going for?
When you say traditional, what do you mean?
Like in terms of like gender roles, let's say.
Oh,
or like,
I think after you have kids, like if the woman wants to work.
It's not just work, just like
if she wants to work before we have kids, I think that's fine. As long as like there's an expectation after the kids are born. Dude, like I just don't I just don't I'm in your boat. Like my preference is like to choose a partner if I'm going down this route, right? To choose a partner that wants to do those things. Not like that like is doing those things because I want them to.
Yeah.
Like I want someone who like after a certain point, I do believe having kids is very important. But like after a certain point in life, like it's like everything that you do is to make sure your kids have the life that like a better life than you did. So like I would start educating like dude, first thing, like kid is not getting any formula, literally breast milk only, right? Like my partner, wife, whoever has to be unvaxxed. For sure, like that's
unvaxxed?
Like from the COVID vaccine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I am, and so like that's like number one. That's like number one. Like you're not even in the room if you're not even in the room
if you're vaxxed.
If you're vaxxed, not even in the room. Like not even in one of the choices.
Okay.
That's just like I don't know what your views are on that. I don't know if you got that. Whatever your views are.
My views.
I have my own like thing for that because
sure.
It's not the vaccine itself. It's like not the actual shot that she got the shot. It's that like. It's like it comes back to like being susceptible to outside influence. Dude, I got pressured so hard to get the vaccine, and I didn't do it because like I was like I'd rather. I had a girlfriend at the time. I was like I'd rather lose my job, lose my relationship, like not being able to
really that much.
Go to,
okay.
nothing, bro. I was like.
But why?
I was like very.
Just because,
dude. I knew,
just you want to like go against like authority? Is that like why? Like
yeah.
Is it like a power relationship for you,
It was like a. Dude, it was just like critical thinking. I was like, dude, this virus just happened, and now you came up with a vaccine in under 12 months. Like, I don't know, kind of sketch, man. And like now there's all these side effects. I don't know, man. Like as soon as the whole thing happened, I was like from day one, I was very sketched out. I was very like I had like lots of like I was always questioning stuff. Like I was always questioning stuff. I've been doing that forever. Like I think ever since I tore my ACL, I've been questioning what like Western medicine or pretty much anytime someone tells me something, I always question it. Also, right after I got diagnosed with my ulcerative colitis, which was 2019, which was 2 years before, like a year and a half before COVID. I saw like 5 or 6 different doctors because they all told me the same thing, and I would like always question them, and they would just like hate, like they would just like give me like the most like condescending answers, And so I think I have like not a vendetta, but I have authority issues with medicine, like people who are in medicine.
Yeah.
And so like when the whole COVID thing came out, I was like very had a 180 view of it. But that's just me, man. That's just me. And like whoever I choose, I want them to be on the same page with me, right?
Yeah,
like,
I think I can.
But that's where I'm coming from there.
So my perspective, obviously, I can feel for situations like you. Like obviously, like if you're going to a lot of doctors and you're not getting answers and like they're being constant, like those aren't good experiences. And of course, like it doesn't matter what anyone says. Like now you have like a tainted view of that.
Yeah. I have my own perspective,
people's personal experiences. I'm not gonna like obviously like you experienced that. You went down your route. Cool. I think the only thing I would say is, listen, I don't know. Like I didn't read up all up on the vaccines. Like, But for me, it's like, listen, like I am not a doctor.
Yeah.
I'm not trained. I didn't go through all these classes. I don't know nearly enough as much as a doctor does. That's like, let's say part of the CDC or something. Like I don't know like anywhere near what he does. So for me, like I understand I'm operating from a perspective of like, what am I saying?
Not ignorance, but there's another word you're looking for.
Yeah. Basically,
inexperience? I don't know.
I just don't have the knowledge, right?
Yeah.
So for me, it's like I'm gonna go to a source that does have knowledge and just listen. Because like, listen, you can't fight every battle. Okay.
I agree. Yeah.
Like you can go like any building you enter into, you are basically putting some faith in something, right? It could crumble down on you. You're basically saying that the building codes are like good, that the people building it, like
you're taking the risk,
like, anything you do, right? So like, listen, you can live a life, you can go into the woods and try to live your own, but like, who wants to do that, right? So like, anyone who
build your own shelter out of like trees.
So like
and
anything you do, like when you're in a society,
leaves,
we live in a society, right? So anytime you live in a society, there's certain things you just have to take it for granted, right? You just have to listen to what people are saying. And for me, I saw that there were a lot of people dying. Obviously, it was elderly.
Oh yeah, of course.
It was people with pre-health conditions, stuff like that. It didn't seem like the average person who was fit and healthy like us at our age was really getting much out of it. Like having a lot of bad side effects. But obviously, there were examples of people even healthy who were.
Yeah.
So for me, like like me getting vaccinated, it was just like, listen, like why not? And also, it was like more of a preventative thing for like not spreading it to more susceptible members like my grandparents,
which lived with you at the time, right?
Or people who, and they were like very old,
right.
So I think sometimes you just have to. You can't question everything. Obviously, you can, but I think we all have biases. I think sometimes when we question things, like for example, like I'm not putting anything on you, obviously, but what I'm saying is I think everybody does this.
Yeah.
In the sense that like, if I think a certain type of fitness style, a certain type of diet, a certain type of thing, the way I answer, like when I question things, it's always gonna have a little bit of bias.
It's gonna be based off of like your previous experience.
So for example, let's say like let's say you live a little more of a carnivore, like a whole food kind of diet. You're basically gonna seek out examples that support you.
Yeah.
But
and like reject things that don't support.
Sure.
Although I'm gonna let you continue your point, but I'm the opposite, bro. I will go out of my way to find things that that disprove my thing, because I think that's important to have.
Yeah.
I think it was like the Aristotle quote or the Socrates quote where he's just like, it's a mark of an intelligent mind to be able to have two opposing points of view without accepting, like to have like an alternative point of view without accepting it.
So like.
So I'll go out and think like, because I was vegan at one point in time, right? Didn't really work out well, and now this this diet's working out way better. But like, so I'll still like seek out I'll seek out people who have ulcerative colitis or Crohn's and they're vegan and they're completely fine. And I'll like read up on their studies and like their anecdotes. But at the end of the day, I'm like, this is what works for me, so I'm gonna stick with it. But,
my brother also has. I think it's ulcerative colitis.
He does. Yeah. No, we talk about it every time we.
So I also have like I don't think I have as bad as he does.
Yeah.
But I think it came from my mom's side.
Some gut issues. Yeah.
So like for me, like I feel my stomach always rumbles. Like right now it's rumbling. Like I feel like I always have like if I eat like really spicy food.
Spicy food's the worst. Biggest trigger.
It really hurts it. Like I'm in the bathroom for a while. Like it hurts. But I love spicy food. I'm Pakistani, so
it's in the blood, man. It's in the blood.
Like eating some like nihari or like something, even like something like these like a bihari kebab or something like. If it's like spicy, like for me it tastes amazing.
Yeah.
But
later on, yeah.
But my brother, I know like my sister-in-law, she is vegetarian.
Yeah.
So I think he eats more of that kind of style. I think obviously not everyone is the same. Everyone's body's different.
Of course,
even
yeah.
two people who have ulcerative colitis can be very
Yeah,
different.
yeah. Every time him and I talk, he
Yeah.
said that he can't eat red meat because it upsets stomach.
Yeah.
And I
So
was
that's
yeah.
like y'all are very different.
Yeah, yeah. We always do. Like whenever we link, whenever we see each other, we always talk. We always
I'm sure he
talk
can.
about it.
I just think he doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't think the doctor said anything about like you can't.
Yeah. It's just he kind of like the way he's probably like found like his body doesn't react well to it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
One thing that we both have in common. One thing, we both like flare up when we don't get enough sleep consistently.
Okay.
That's like one big thing for the both of us. We were talking about that at Samir's wedding, where he was just like I said, man, we always get into the topic of it, and like I love it because he's like, dude is so relatable because it's hard. There's not many people that have the condition, especially in our community, right? And so when you find someone else talk about it, you're pretty much like, yeah, man, how's your gut? How's your gut? Yeah, right. But one thing both of us like are in sync on is like if we go too many nights without sleeping properly, we'll like it'll be like we'll have gut issues. So
yeah, man. So similarities and also differences. My thing, okay, like so veganism, right? So I'm not a vegan.
Yeah.
But I find it hard for someone who thinks a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like I think all the time. Okay, like I feel like my mind's always running. For someone who thinks a lot, I feel like from a philosophical perspective, from a morally philosophical perspective, I feel like it is I think it's morally corrupt to eat animals. Like, I really do, but I still do it, and I feel like there's like cognitive dissonance happening inside myself. But like this is like my whole life I've done it, right? Like,
Yeah.
But I do feel like you look at animals like, and especially the way they're killed, and it's just,
it's brutal.
it's fucking like it's shitty, dude, and it's
Yeah.
like I understand they're not humans, but like, you still feel for them, right? So like I feel like morally like and every time someone's like bashes dude, like I honestly I hate those kind of people. I think there was a point where it was like it's kind of cringy. I think there was a point in my life I was like, oh, like you're a vegetarian, I'm eating double the meat now. It's like compensate.
I remember I've made those jokes before.
You made those jokes, yeah.
And someone's made those jokes to me when I was vegan. I remember that.
Yeah, but I feel like that's just a really. How do you wrestle with it morally? Like, do you have any moral
Personally?
Yeah.
Dude, personally, I think humans are at the top of the food chain.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I think we're apex predator type shit.
Okay.
So like I have zero qualms, mostly because eating animals has saved my life.
Yeah.
Like for my gut, I have zero.
Sure.
I have zero moral dilemma.
Yeah, yeah.
Like sure, like it's fucked up how they get killed. But most of my meat, I mean, with the rare exception, the cows that are dying for me are honestly, and I've calculated it out, like the total number I eat, like on like the conservative side, on like the whatever the opposite of conservative side is, on the liberal side, I eat like a max of 2 cows a year.
Okay.
Which isn't that much like
Okay.
death, you know.
Okay.
In my opinion, right? I mean, I probably eat more chickens and some lambs and shit, but I don't know. I don't have a moral issue with it because I don't have another option. Personally.
Yeah.
Now, if someone who like really is like, oh, like I'm really for the animals, I can't justify eating an animal because of this. Hey, that's your prerogative.
Yeah.
Like no judgment. I never force the carnivore diet on anyone.
Yeah.
I never say like, yeah, man, you got to eat only meat to like survive, to like have the best thriving, whatever. I never say that. So I'm just like, yo, if you got like the thing, but I don't know, man. If I don't see any negative in eating cows that were raised on grass in open pastures that were like killed very humanely.
I understand.
But the majority of cows and chickens were not. Like they don't get that luxury.
They don't.
Yeah. They don't get that luxury at all. Yeah.
I think that speaks more to the supply chain of food.
Yeah.
And like all the logistics behind that more than, like the way you believe and like what you should eat.
Yeah.
But I get that. Obviously, every other animal eats other animals for a living.
Yeah, they do, man. And like it's like it's nature, right? Nature at its core. I mean, like you'll see the Discovery Channel.
Yeah.
You'll see like lions like attacking zebras and like shredding their.
Yeah. And we're not gonna go around saying like they're like, but obviously, listen, like, I don't know if you're religious, like how religious you are, but we obviously believe that humans are intellectually and, like we have
souls and stuff. Yeah.
And this intellectual capacity a lot more than any other animal. So like, there's arguments for like, hey, like if obviously we have this, we can basically differentiate right and wrong.
Yeah.
So I think his name is Peter Zinger. Some people obviously they make good arguments. Obviously, I still eat meat. I don't know long term if we can get to a point where I can get all of the micronutrients, the protein
From other things, yeah.
from other things. Like I don't know how I feel about lab grown meat. I don't think we're at a point anywhere near where like I'd want to eat it.
Not there yet, right?
No, but I think there'll be a point because listen, I think like first off, I think just like it's a huge like greenhouse gas waste. Like it puts so much pollution into the air, just like having to like feed these animals and like how much grass in order to like allocate for all. Like, I think like all this stuff and like, just for in order to like keep up with intake worldwide, like
sustainability.
Yeah, I think from a sustainability perspective, I think like long term, it's gonna shift to the point where you can call it lab grown, you can call it whatever you want, but I think
some alternative.
There'll need to be at some point. And at that point, like listen, like for me, like as long as it tastes pretty decent, gets me my protein, like all like the nutrients and stuff, like I'm not gonna discriminate, like you know. But we're not at that point yet.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Just give me as natty as possible, bro.
What?
Just give me as natty as possible.
Natty as possible?
As natural as possible.
Natural, yeah. As long as it's natural, yeah.
That's all I care about.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, you've probably seen this on like social media. Read like the back, like the ingredient label of like a Beyond Burger, and it's like 40 different things.
But that's the issue.
And then you read
that's
like,
the issue. That's
and
the
then
issue,
you read the ingredient label of like a steak, and it just says ingredients beef.
Yeah, no.
So it's like it's tough.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
And it needs to be much, yeah.
Yeah.
That's I don't eat those Beyond stuff.
Yeah,
I don't eat that.
I think
it's a lot of junk.
Yeah. A lot of that stuff is like ultra processed. I feel like a lot of vegan food is, but I mean the vegans who eat like fruits, vegetables, stuff like that.
It's hard to get all your protein in too.
It is, dude. It's so tough. Like same thing.
Especially if you're vegan, you can't even drink whey. You can't eat eggs.
Same thing with or like if they just eat like lentils and bread and stuff. It's a lot.
And from a macro perspective, like it'll be really hard to get your protein
carb heavy. Yeah.
You can eat beans for protein, but you're gonna have to eat like this many beans versus like this piece of chicken.
This piece of chicken, yeah, exactly.
And it's like, dude, like how you gonna like, especially if you're trying to lose weight, like
same thing, bro. If I eat like this much, like if I eat like a let's say like 100 grams of beef liver, that's the equivalent of like 5 pounds of kale.
In terms of what, like
micronutrients?
Oh, really? Okay.
Bioavailability of micronutrients. Sure. Yeah.
Now, I've heard some of those organ meats.
Oh, organ meats are amazing, dude. Yeah,
I don't like the taste of it.
Yeah,
I haven't tried the taste of it, honestly.
Yeah. I don't really eat food because of the taste anymore. Although I will say I cook a fucking mean steak, so like I of course love the taste. But when I eat liver and stuff, dude, I'm like it's kind of like a vitamin. You can't just pop it like a pill. Actually, funny enough, I take some of these sometimes. Like Organs Blend, it has like a bunch of stuff in it. If you want to read it, but
obviously you can't show the company because
Yeah, not sponsored. Yeah. Yeah, I'll take them sometimes. I don't take them all the time, but I don't know. I do take a few supplements like based off of like because I can't get everything from food just the way I eat it right now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not eating like spleen and heart and stuff.
I think most people don't get everything. I think what I read was at least the American diet we lack vitamin D and magnesium. I think is like the big ones.
Yeah, funny enough, got vitamin D and then I take my magnesium before bed.
I think magnesium is one of those things I need to take again because I think I definitely felt like I felt like I got better sleep with it.
Dude, yeah, I take like 200 to 400 milligrams every night.
It might be placebo. Honestly, a lot of these things.
Nah, dude, this shit, it's
magnesium
real,
probably isn't placebo.
It's real, bro. Hold up, I'm gonna grab mine real quick. Yeah, definitely not a placebo. But like, dude, this stuff that stuff hits for me at night.
Glycinates. Okay.
Yeah, and glycinate's like the easily absorbed one.
Okay.
If you take too much like magnesium citrate, it'll make
you like
shit your guts out. Yeah, I take two every night. Sometimes 4. Just depends if I have a stressful day.
Okay.
Magnesium is responsible for like a bunch of processes in your body.
You do this every day?
Also not sponsored. Yeah, I take two minimum of 2 every night.
Nice.
Before bed. Sometimes I'll take 4.
Yeah.
Sometimes if I have like a really stressful week, I'll take.
I remember researching this a little bit. There were like glycinate. There was another type. I guess maybe it might not have been as easily absorbed.
Yeah, this one's the best one, glycinate, because glycine is an amino acid that helps like neurotransmitter support. I have like glycine powder in my room as well. Dude, I have a whole sleep stack.
Is this basically like a multi, or is this like
this is the equivalent of a multi, right? So it has vitamin A, B6, B12, copper, choline. The one thing that's hard to get from the carnivore diet is copper, and there's one other thing that's in here. copper is hard to get from the carnivore diet. So like I take this for the copper, and then some of this other stuff, man. Thiamine. I mean, I have my D1 right there, which is thiamine. But yeah, man, I don't know. It's not the equivalent of a multi. I wouldn't take a multivitamin, but I'll take like I'd rather just eat like 2 ounces of beef liver or goat liver every few days.
There's a website, like my MyFitnessPal and stuff. Like
Oh
you can
yeah,
track your
chronometer.
dude. You read my mind.
If you know, you know, man. Yeah.
You can shit. Holy fuck, man. Yeah, you can I'm telling you, like minds. When you start talking, you can,
yeah. See,
I remember
that's what I love about the podcast, man. It just flows into this. Man.
I remember I
love
used to
chronometer, bro.
I used to log my stuff. I would see like which vitamins and stuff I'm deficient in.
Yeah. Yeah, the one nutrient I'm like almost always deficient in. There's a couple. One is definitely manganese, which is like for like joint health and stuff.
Okay.
I don't think there's many animal foods that have manganese. And then my potassium isn't the best. I have a good sodium and magnesium intake, but I know potassium is like really.
I feel like electrolytes. I need to.
Yeah.
Like I played. Okay, well, I was an idiot because I played in this like pickleball tournament and it was like 5 hours long, and I didn't bring any food with me. I only had water.
Oh, no.
I ended up drinking 1 Gatorade, but it wasn't nearly enough.
Yeah.
Like, I was like my legs were cramped. Like my quads were cramping up.
Yeah.
And I couldn't like move. At some point, I was like, I need a timeout. I was just. My partner Rehan, he had like this like Theragun type thing. So I was doing that, but it was just. And then like then the referee gave us like an element. You know, have you heard of that brand Element? It's like a mixture. You've heard of Liquid IV, right?
Yeah.
Basically, that I think it's a more like a concentrated version of that.
Okay.
So it's like 1,000 of like sodium. There's like
nice.
200 of potassium, 100 of magnesium. So
Yeah.
some kind of ratio of that.
Yeah.
And I thought that helped. But I think I was at a point where I was just already too far gone.
Yeah.
And like my legs were just like, but it helped.
Man.
It definitely helped.
Yeah, that's good.
So I think and I've read. I had a coworker, and he basically drinks when he puts one of those things in his like water, like a big ass water bottle in the morning. He drinks it throughout the day, and he like. He also listens to Huberman. I think. I think he also recommends that. I don't know which brand he recommends, but I've also seen people like if you want to do like a cheap route, like you can like do it yourself. Like you can get magnesium, sodium.
Yeah, magnesium bicarbonate or like magnesium flakes and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's basically like mixing like your own concoction, basically.
Yeah.
And it's like cheaper.
Yeah.
And you can kind of like do exactly how much. Let's say like you're eating more saltier foods that day or whatever. Like you can like lessen that.
Lessen sodium and increase potassium. Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on what you need, but obviously you got to be a little more knowledgeable rather than this. It's not easier just to put a packet of electrolytes in the drink. That tastes pretty
That's
good.
like already made perfectly.
And it's like tastes good, and that's the thing. Like sometimes people like sometimes I feel like I go too far, and then I don't do it instead of just going less far and then being like reading, for example. I feel like I try to bite on too much, and I find myself like not reading at all for a couple of days, like outside of like work and stuff, like just like actual books. Like,
yeah. What are you reading right now?
So I just started reading Thinking Fast and Slow. It's like a self-help book.
Nice.
So I just started reading that, but
Is it about critical thinking? What's it about?
yeah, it's just about like understanding your own biases and like just I literally just started it, and
Nice.
so I've only read like the first like few pages, so I can't tell you too much, but it is a self-help book. I think it just changes the way you kind of think about stuff, and I think it's like understanding your own biases, and yeah, I think it's mostly like that.
You read a lot?
No, I don't.
Oh,
That's
you
the
just
issue.
restarted reading.
I feel like I don't read like books. Like I feel like I always like read articles and I like read online.
I read a lot of articles. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of times I'm just like I'll like Reddit stuff and like I might find a link to like some like thing and I'll read that. Cause I feel like I'm on the computer probably more than I should, and that's like more easily accessible. But and I feel like sometimes books, and maybe it's like the ADHD and me talking or like my lack of like patience, but sometimes it just takes too long for points to get across. Whereas like I can more easily digest the same core concepts a lot quicker by just reading an article. There's been a whole app where it's like you basically take a book and it basically condenses it into 5 minutes.
Headway or whatever? Or
It's something like that. But basically summarizes the book.
Yeah.
There's gonna be people who are like, dude, like the whole point of like reading is like not just to get the
Summarize,
points,
yeah.
but it's like to get the anecdotes,
All
Yeah,
like the accessory stuff, yeah.
and I feel like when you actually read through a whole book, it's gonna stick with you a lot more than just reading like a 5-minute thing.
Summary, yeah. That makes sense.
But I feel like for like self-help and like for stuff like that, there's an issue sometimes when people they start reading self-help books and they just keep reading self-help books.
Analysis paralysis, but they don't take action afterwards.
Yeah, it's like there needs to be a point where
Yep.
less reading about it, more
action.
doing about it.
Yeah, the term is speed of implementation. How fast can you apply the concepts that you've just learned
Yeah.
or that you read about?
I think, listen, I
Biggest
think most self-help books can be condensed in like a 10-minute read.
Oh, yeah. Dude, every self-help book stems from either How to Win Friends and Influence People by
Yeah, Dale
Dale Carnegie, or 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey.
Yeah.
Everything stems from those two.
Atomic Habits, or would you say 7 Habits?
7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. Atomic Habits is a really, James Clear, it's a really good book. A lot of people have read that book.
Yeah.
My dad read that book recently.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, my dad's been reading a lot. Dude, my dad's been like reading. He's been like working out. He's been like listening to
I've seen him
this
walking
one.
too.
Yeah, he's
I've been
listening to
going
this
during
one
the week.
podcast. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I've been going during the week
I'm gonna
sometimes.
go during the week more.
Sometimes it's just
Yeah, it's nice, right?
the thing is like, okay, have you ever like, you don't have to talk about religion if you want, but are you like someone who's like questioned it a lot growing up, or like
All the time.
Yeah.
Question it now.
I would assume so.
I love
just based
going
on
to
who you are,
Kanye.
yeah.
I love going to Kanye though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But from like a purely like religious perspective.
Yes. Yeah. All the time. So,
If you could take away the
question
community
it since I was,
aspect,
like,
let's say
19.
like you didn't have any friends, there was no like necessarily
Yeah.
community aspect of it, would you still be going to Kanye?
probably not.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely not. What about you?
Yeah. Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
I love the community. I love our community a lot.
Yeah.
like-
I think I was
Yeah.
I'm someone who
That's hard.
questions it a lot.
Same,
And
dude.
I've literally talked to YZines. I've talked to people who have, so okay, it's so my issue is, right, anecdotes aren't going to convince me, okay?
Yeah.
You can talk about how, you know how college education, like what my parents do, it's like, listen, like, we didn't go through a full college education, look how well we're doing, like, this is like basically like the blessings of the Imam, God, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like, I can also give you tons of examples of people way more successful than you
Yeah.
who are atheists, right? So it's like, yeah, like anecdotes help, and these people probably didn't go to school or anything, like, they're very similar. And my thing is, I think people they compensate, right? It's like they'll go through a death, and it's like, oh, like it was Allah Merzi, or it's like, and they'll basically. I don't like the way they do that, and I feel like that's one thing, and also like I had an issue with this phone for a long time. I still question it a lot.
Same, bro.
And also, because there's a whole like subreddit. Do you ever use Reddit?
I do, mostly for like Wall Street bets and crypto.
Okay. But
Yeah.
so there's a whole subreddit called X Smileys, and like
Oh, that's a thing?
yeah, it's a whole group.
Like people who aren't a smiley anymore?
Yeah, people who were previously Smiley and they like converted out of it.
Yeah.
Maybe not like publicly, but
Yeah.
they don't believe in it anymore.
Right.
And it's a very toxic place. Like I wouldn't recommend.
Oh,
going
actually,
there.
okay, yeah.
Like,
All right.
I don't think you should go. Like I think if you're gonna, I think there's better avenues. And then like just to circle back to like the whole red pill and all, like just like dating advice coaches and all that stuff. Like my issue is that there's some good, like Andrew Tate has some good advice. Jordan
agree.
Peterson has some good advice.
Yeah.
These people have, otherwise no one would follow them.
Yeah.
Right? Making your own bed, getting out, like working on yourself. Like these are like just like general like things people understand that they should be doing.
like work out to make sure your mind is strong, like stuff like that.
Like this isn't anything new, okay?
Yeah.
But the issue is they have these points, and then they have like a whole ton of other shit.
Like a whole bunch of radical points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, and my whole thing is like you can get the same points by just going to like literally like a bunch. Like you can go to other sources, and you can get the same points and not get a lot of the other negative kind of stuff.
You know, one of my favorite points. Well, it's like this video a long time ago, right? It was the video was titled "You Are Exactly Where You Deserve to Be," right?
Okay.
And it came out January 1st, 2019. And it was like, the guy was talking, he said something about like, the place you are right now in your life, you didn't just wake up and you got here. It's a culmination of all the choices that you've made over the past like 6 months, 2 years, 5 years, etc. Right? Like people that are fat don't get fat overnight. Like it happens like a slow and steady process, right? Right now, what you're doing is, like if you're standing on hot coals every day, like you wouldn't be able to stand it. Whereas like so that's obviously not what's happening. But like you've let yourself come to where you are today because of all these like past decisions that you've made.
Yeah.
You know who that was that said that? It was Andrew Tate in 2019, 3 years before he popped off. I saw that video. I came across that video because I used to follow him on Twitter back in like 2017. But I saw that video and I was like, damn, this is a banger point. I had just gotten diagnosed with ulcerative colitis. And like ultimately, I do like. I mean, doctors like people are like, oh yeah, it's not your fault. It's autoimmune. No, fuck that. I think it's my fault personally. That's just the way I take it. I take like extreme ownership of everything.
No, you should. Yeah.
But right, so I was like, wow, yeah, man. There's a lot of nights in college where like I stayed up really late. I was eating really bad food. I was like eating lots of really bad food. Like I was eating out a lot. You know, I was like very stressed out. I was like, you know, fighting with my body on a lot of stuff. Like all these decisions like led me to be here. And I was like, wow, this is really good advice. This is before people like hated, nobody even knew his name back then, right?
Yeah.
And then like when he got popular and stuff, like people are like, oh yeah, fuck this guy. I'm like, he has some good points. He has some solid points, man. So, and then there's like some of the other shit that's like just straight up comedy and just ballistic. But most of it, I'm like, yeah, man, I fuck with that, you know? And yeah.
The issue is like just making good points. Like right now, like, okay, if I just wanted to, just making good points in itself usually isn't going to make you popular.
Yeah.
Or,
you got to have like the entertainment factor.
you got to have the entertainment factor.
You got to have the polarizing factor. You got to have like the freaking.
It's so much easier to be like,
flaunt. You have to flaunt something. Yeah.
Like this whole concept, like, like a lion and like you know, like the whole like.
Yeah.
People are it's being contrarian. They're contrarian.
Yeah.
For the sake of being.
For the sake of being contrarian. Yeah.
So they'll just say points.
Yeah.
And these are these two brothers. You know the Hodge twins? Have you heard of them?
Oh, I used to follow them all the time.
They used to be so
in like
fucking
the 10th
funny.
grade. They were so good.
I remember laughing.
Dude, I met them at the.
Really?
They came to LA Fitness like randomly.
In
like
Dallas or
when
what?
I was in like 2019.
Shit. Okay. Well,
I went during like my lunch break one day at work and I saw them.
But I remember these guys like back in high school.
Dude, they were so good.
I literally have
all kinds of
gains.
kinds of
It's like they be talking about.
Yeah, all in them sugar walls. Like yeah.
Oh my god, they were so funny.
Such good dude. Yeah. Now they just like eat fast food.
Leave nothing but the nuts hanging out.
I hate that shit, bro.
Oh, that stuff was so funny.
Yeah.
But then now, like, I remember I haven't seen them recently, but
man,
they became like conservative shills and like.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And now they're just like Republican, like, and they just like they don't talk. I don't talk about fitness. It's just all
they
about
get like sponsored by whatever, right?
Yeah, people just jump bandwagon.
Dude,
whatever makes them money, you know.
Dude, that channel used to be so legendary.
It was so funny,
so good, so good. They were such great personalities too. This Lord Kevin and Lord Keith, fuck out the way, man.
Yeah. I need to go back and watch some of the old stuff.
All this is just advice. Do whatever the fuck you want to do, dude. So many bangers, bro.
I need to go back.
So many bangers. Dude, we'll watch your video before you leave, bro. Dude, so many banger videos I remember, and it was just these two guys like working out at LA Fitness, and they would just voice like on a shitty camera. I think they're probably recording with their phone or a shitty camera, and they were just like doing voiceovers. Just like
they were just
yeah, man. We did what we do here. We did 4 sets of 12 reps on these. One little light, you know, only 3 plates, you know. And it was just they were just talking so much shit, dude. Yeah, and he's like, you look at Kevin's face right now. He looked like he about to bust a nut. Just the funniest shit ever, dude. It's so good.
Dude, some of the relationship advice was the funniest shit I've ever heard in my life, dude. Like, I remember listening to one of those. I was like, bro, holy shit.
Yeah. I remember this one guy emailed him and was like, yeah, man, like, yeah, I've been like, my penis hurts because I've been jacking off too much. He's like, hey, yeah, man, yo, you gotta chill out. You've been playing with your mushroom tip way too often, like all that. Dude,
I feel all the terms. There was like dangleberries. There was like the sugar walls.
Yeah,
and, like,
sugar walls.
You know them with the nuts hanging out.
Nuts hanging out.
That was the funniest shit.
It's like you can't just be going, oh, you gotta go, Dude, it's so good. Like that was like some of the most that was like YouTube back then was so iconic, bro. Dude. You had the Hodge twins.
Did you watch KSI at all?
I don't think
like back in the day.
No, I never.
So I used to play FIFA, so he used to make these
like
this was like way before he got popular.
Yeah.
This was like less than 100K subscribers. This is probably like 50K subscribers at the time.
Yeah.
Back in the day, but he would make FIFA videos, and then FIFA there's like a thing called like Road to Division 1. It was like like you like basically draft a team, and like you have to like play other teams and.
Nice.
But he was so funny.
Yeah.
So it's just
commentary, right?
It was just commentating.
Commentary.
Now he does like all the other stuff. He's like fighting and stuff now.
Yeah. Do you remember? I can't remember his name. Not Sway, but he was like the guy. He was like he used to make like I never even played Call of Duty, but Namer would show me his videos. He'd be like splash.
Yeah.
that guy. I can't remember his name.
He was a 2K player, right?
Yeah.
It was like
I can't remember his name.
I know.
It's like not Sway. It's like
I know exactly who you're talking about. I forgot the name too.
Yeah.
I think I had it for a second. You said Call of Duty, and I think I forgot it.
It was that, and then Boko my girl. Here's a number.
Psych. That's the
wrong number.
That was
Deshaun Raw.
Super
hot fire. Yeah. He's back now.
Really?
Yeah. Did you know that he did he had a.
I think it won't be as funny. I feel.
He had one with Wiz Khalifa a while back.
Really?
Yeah.
I remember. I think the last one I saw was with Soulja Boy.
Oh, where he lost?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was good. He had one with Chris Rock.
Yeah, I think he beat Chris
Timothy
Rock.
De La Ghetto. Yeah, he had the newer ones. He had one with I forget. Oh, he had one with Gilbert Arenas.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So he's made more.
Yeah,
I remember those
yeah.
ones like Hearts. I break that. Samples from Costco. I take
take
that.
that.
And then they were like, what the fuck? The guy was like, what the hell are you saying?
Yeah,
Like,
I remember. And like there was the most iconic one. It was like I shop at Costco. You know why? Because Costco keeps the cost low.
Yeah, it's just like.
And then he goes, and this I think it's Timothy De La Ghetto saying that. He goes like my rhymes are so gnarly, you can't top that. Carly, I'll watch that.
Yeah.
I remember. It was such great comedy, man. It was such great comedy.
We're never gonna get that again. That's just like the busted camera, just the everything about it, man.
Dude. Yeah,
even the hot ones, like they were like they would just like go to like a drive-through like fast food restaurant. How you like fucking stuffing their face?
And they would just keep that side. It's like, yeah, man. Today, what we gonna try today, man? We gonna try these Taco Bell flat.
They eat like 3,000 calories with the food. Just like,
the 10,000 calorie challenges.
Dude, holy fuck, man.
Oh, man.
That was just.
Do you see now? We remember earlier we were talking about like how life was a simpler time. It's because like all these things were like. All these like things like were like
the world's too sweaty now. That's what it is.
All of us sweaty, man.
It's too sweaty.
Yeah.
I remember like
Casey Neistat's vlogs. I don't know if you ever watched those like old
them.
ones. I'm trying to remember what else.
Did you play any video games like growing up? Like
I played RuneScape.
Yeah, RuneScape. I was about to say like RuneScape like back then.
Yeah, I'll still get on RuneScape these days.
So like but now it's like
so
sweat.
It's so grindy, bro. I hate
it's so
playing
grindy.
I'll get on for like 30 minutes now.
Because back then like RuneScape like I remember like they'd like did you do like the clan versus clan fights?
Yeah. It was like 40 people like fighting each other.
It was like 100 versus 100 type shit, and like no one's out here like optimizing for everything.
Yeah, everyone's just playing the game how they want it, just to have fun.
Yeah, and
now
so,
everyone's it's sweaty, bro. Everyone's so sweaty.
I remember trying to play RuneScape. Now it's like there's those like range, those melee, those mage, right? Before back then it was just like you pick one and you're just shooting arrows. Doesn't matter what
like hours,
Yeah, there was like you can wear different gear to protect yourself.
Yeah.
From, like I played RuneScape kind of recently. That's like a couple years ago. That's why I kind of know. But now it's like if you want to fight and you want to be good, you gotta have basically you have your bow on you. You gotta have like your sword on you. You gotta keep switching between them. Between each attack.
For like PKing and stuff. Yeah, I was never good at PKing.
So I got pretty decent at it, but I started getting arthritis because I gotta fucking click. That's not worth this shit.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but the world's getting sweaty. That's what it is.
It's sweaty, bro. Yeah, I got a hardcore Iron Man on OSRS that I'll play from time to time, but I can't go into the wildy on that motherfucker, man. But it's like it's so sweaty, man. Because back then everything was so like the whole world of like RuneScape was so new. Even just the free to play world.
And everyone was just so young.
Everyone was so young, and like everyone was like ignorant. Everyone played the game to have fun.
No one's out here looking up like the way to maximize this.
Yeah, nobody's looking up efficiency guides.
Fastest way to get to 99. Like
exactly. No one's doing
that. That didn't exist.
Yeah, everyone's just like playing just to play. Like everyone's like, oh man, I just beat this like lesser demon. Hell yeah! Like and it's like the craziest.
The King Black Dragon was like
it was like the hardest boss in the game.
And now it's like, dude, like if you
now it's like the easiest boss in the game.
Yeah, if you can't do that shit, you're like a scrub.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Different time, man.
That's with everything, you know.
Did you ever play like those old Pokemon games, like on Game Boy and stuff? Did you ever do that?
No. I remember like I've played it before, but I wasn't like COD was something that I didn't really play growing up.
Same.
And like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and stuff, I didn't really play.
Gotcha.
Dragon Ball Z, I didn't really.
Yeah, I didn't really have. The only game system I had as a kid was like I had a GameCube, and then I had I played RuneScape on the PC. That was about it.
I played RuneScape. I played MapleStory a little bit. If you remember that.
I never played it. My friends played it in school though.
What other game did I play growing up? And then like I got into like League of Legends for a while. Yeah, different times though, man.
I feel like everyone that goes to UTD gets into League of Legends somehow.
Yeah, I got into League of Legends when I was like in 8th grade. When I was at Rice Middle School, I remember I got into it.
Yeah.
So I started like really early.
Yeah.
Because listen, you go to Rice, everyone's Asian. We're all playing video games.
Yeah, true.
It's just what it is.
True, man.
You went to Rice too, right?
I did.
Yeah. So you just grew up on that, and like you're
What
studying.
What year did you graduate high school?
Senior high?
Yeah.
West.
No, what year?
16.
Oh, damn. Okay, you and I probably just missed each other. I graduated in 2013.
From high. Yeah.
From
You went to
from
senior, right?
Yeah.
That's what I think. Like a year or two before
They did. Yeah. They
rezoned it.
switch.
They rezoned it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was right under Ali and Amin's grade.
Yeah. They all went to senior.
Yeah.
Some people went to East for like the whole IB thing.
Yeah.
But I had no desire. I mean, I was like West. I was like, because all my friends from Jasper went to West. I was like, why not?
Yeah.
But even then, I feel like Jasper was like personally, I felt I went to UTD. I did finance. Obviously, if you did like a much harder degree, I'm not speaking on that. But I felt like high school was harder than college.
Dude, Jasper was like the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
Jasper,
bro.
even West, I feel like was super competitive. West was
harder than UNT. Low key.
I remember taking like physics at West, and that shit was hard. I remember taking fucking like comp sci. Like I took like AP comp sci. Like there were certain things that I was like, it was tough, dude. And I remember like even Jasper, it was like super competitive. Dude, there'd be people who would literally tell me like I would ask them like for help, and they'd give me wrong answers intentionally.
On purpose?
Yeah, because it's like listen, bro, like you were like top 10 at Jasper. I'm not top 10 at Jasper.
Why are you being
you don't have to like.
Yeah.
I'm not a threat to you, motherfucker. Like you're fine, dude. Like I'm still like a decent chunk behind you, so you're fine.
That's crazy.
But it was crazy, bro. Everyone with the fucking top 10%, man. It was. And it's like, dude, especially that's why I don't like the way like the UT and stuff admitted it. It was like, dude, like if you're top 10 at Jasper versus top 10 at some like random ass university, like high school, like dude, like you're not gonna. It's not the same.
It's not the same. Yeah. Academics was something I like I never cared about growing up. I still don't care about it these days. I like didn't know I didn't know what my GPA was in college until like 2 years after I graduated.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, like when I was applying for jobs, nobody asked me for it.
Yeah.
So I just never mentioned it. But this girl I was dating at the time was like, yeah, she was like worried about like jobs and stuff, and I was like, yeah, it's not that bad. Like interviews are easy, like you'll be all right. And she's like, but what about your GPA? And I was like, what about it? And she's like, well, like what if they like say I was like, don't you have like a 3.9 something? She's like, yeah, but it's not a 4.0. And I was like, so. And then she's like,
do you know her career was in?
Like,
what was her degree in?
Like business administration. And I was like, she's like, so what was your GPA? And I was like, I don't know. And she's like, what do you mean? And I was like, I don't know. I never checked it. And she's like, how do you have a job? And I was working at Palo for like a year at this point. She's like, how'd you never check it? And I was like, I don't know. I just like I never knew my rank in high school. I never knew my GPA in high school. I never knew my GPA in college.
Yeah.
I never really cared. And then she's like, well, can we look at it? And I was like, sure, yeah. Then like after like an hour of trying to sign in and shit, I had a 2.9 GPA in college.
Jesus.
Right?
Okay.
And I've been working at tech companies since since I graduated.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I never really concerned myself with it ever. Like I never cared about academics.
I think you're lucky in the sense that you're in sales.
Degrees, like that's what. Yeah, that's.
I think
so blessed.
Yeah, you're
so
blessed that
the
field you chose to go into, it didn't matter as much.
Yeah, and it has nothing to like sales. Like tech sales is so far away from kinesiology as a degree.
Yeah.
I don't even know how. I know exactly how it happened, but like, I still don't understand. Like I can't fathom like the fact that it happened, bro. Like knock on wood, feel freaking blessed, bro.
And once you're like a year or two out of college, out of your career, like you don't have to put it on your resume anymore. Yeah. I think for me, like I didn't do enough. Like I didn't like so like I think I like try harder in school, but I didn't apply myself in terms of like internships and stuff. And like in my college, like my first couple years of college,
tough. Yeah.
I think I was like in like leadership. Like I was in organizations and stuff. Not leadership roles, but I was just in organizations, and I would like basically try hard a little bit on my GPA, but like. Especially in business, like in finance, like a lot of it is just like networking and like just having experience. Luckily, I ended up getting an internship towards the end of it, and then I got into the Bank of America role, and then I think once that was solidified, I lucked out because I definitely like my peers probably had much better like they had like 2 or 3 internships at that point, like so I was kind of getting scared, but I honestly I lucked out a little bit. I think once you're past that, once you catch that break. And you have some experience on your resume, then you're good.
Yeah, I think that's what it was for me for sure. Just like having that initial foot in the door.
Yeah. And honestly, like even if you have a poor GPA, if you interview pretty well and like, depending on what they're looking for, right? Like
if you have the soft skills, I think you're good.
Soft skills are important.
Soft skills,
soft skills are very important.
Yeah. I think that's a big thing that people overlook. Like if you can have a normal conversation with your interviewer, if you can like shoot the shit with them and have a very like like open conversation, they'll be like, all right, yeah, this
'Cause
guy's,
I'm
this
like,
guy's like smart.
like if I wanted a coworker, right?
Yeah.
I'd much rather have someone I can talk to, and who was like at least decently smart, than someone who's like a genius that like I can't talk to, right?
Yeah,
Like,
just like somebody who's just straight numbers and
yeah. So, obviously, I think people obviously look at that. You want. You want to build a team. You don't want to just. But obviously, I think it depends on your, like if you're like a software engineer where you might not have to communicate as much, maybe. I think stuff like that. I think like the projects you've done, like how well you code and stuff like that matters a lot more. To land like some of those like top companies but those companies pay a lot.
dude, yeah, software developers at big tech, huge, good stuff, man. I know we touched on relationships a little bit. What is your success criteria for a relationship? Like, what do you think a relationship needs to have to be successful?
I think respect needs to be there. I think I'm still like, maybe call me old school, but I still believe like the masculine, feminine energy needs to be there. In order for something to really work.
Yeah.
Like obviously I'm talking about like man, woman, who are straight, heterosexual kind of relationships. I'm not speaking anything else because I don't know that. I'm not gonna speak to it. But obviously, I'm like in like the general sense, like majority population. I think we live in a time where we're not having to hunt for food. There's not someone coming at our door to like shoot us every day. Like we're not having to, like exemplify these masculine traits as we used to. So I think it's a lot harder to like portray that in today's society. So I think I literally had this conversation with someone like a couple days ago, and she was like, yeah, like it's like sometimes like as a woman, like I have to make the man feel like a man, or like just allow him to do certain things in order to make it work. Yeah. Right. Like I understand. Like we live in a society where like listen, like everyone can basically do everything, right? Like you can open that jar, you can open that door, you can do, certain things. I mean, these are the top of my head, but obviously there's a lot of examples. But sometimes it's just nice. Like sometimes men, they just want to feel like they're needed, right? Like, useful, exactly, right? And I think we live in a society now where it's like our usefulness is like decreasing, but it's not obsolete, obviously. But I think we still bring a lot of value add, especially when it comes to like parenting, and there needs to be balance. And I think long term, at least for my criteria, I think like I need someone who's like pretty feminine. But that doesn't mean like obedient. It just means like there needs to be love, obviously, respect for each other. But I think there's like a certain type of energy that I'm looking for, right? Something I can bounce off of a little bit. I think like it's kind of like bubbly. I think like kind of like
friendly,
like very friendly. Like I think that's what I look for. But in terms of like roles, I don't really believe in like roles as much. I think we live in. I think this whole 50-50 on everything is pretty stupid. I think. Well, what do you think on like? Okay, if you're taking out a girl on first date, do you think are you gonna pay?
Every time.
Yeah. So
100%.
And I think I've heard arguments both ways. Like I've heard people say like, oh, like why should it? And I'm like, but I think one thing I would say is, if I'm asking a girl out, right, I think I'm asking her out, so I think I should pay.
I should pay, yeah.
I think that's one thing. Yeah. But let's say even if the girl like slides into my DMs or something, right? Like if someone was reaching out to me, I would still pay because I think it sets a tone.
I think so. Yeah.
Right. I think it sets a tone.
It sets the expectation. I'm not going to like $100 dinner on the first date. Yeah.
Dude, I'm getting like boba.
Yeah. I'm getting coffee or something.
Or like mini golf or like stroll in the park or
something very low pressure and that doesn't
keep it under like $100. Keep it under like honestly, keep it under like $50.
Yeah. Okay, 25.
Yeah. Zero. Keep going down.
Yeah. No, I mean sometimes, dude. Like if I go to I like going to coffee shops because I drink tea. I don't drink coffee, right? And if the girl wants to go out for a drink, I'm like, cool, let's go to a bar that's also a coffee shop, which there's plenty of, right? I mean, yeah, dude, like one drink and one cup of coffee is like, or one cup of tea is like, it's like $25-$30. It's nothing crazy. Yeah. And it's enough to where you can really get to know the person. Yeah. And you're not just doing it to like show off or you're showing too much. Like I think showing too much investment too early is like, I think it's a bad sign on both sides for sure.
So you say like coffee shop is kind of like your go-to or like a bar shop, if they want to do that?
Yeah, coffee shop, bar. Yeah, I mean like I'm not buying.
So more talking.
10 drinks. Yeah, more talky or more like if we're doing an activity. Yeah, if we're doing an activity. I mean like I like shooting pool on a first date.
So I was going to ask like, are you more like activity? Because like I feel like
there's a difference sometimes. So like lately my trajectory has been like first date, coffee or a bar. Yeah. Second date, something active like shooting pool, bowling, or darts, mini golf, whatever. Third date, okay, maybe we can go. Maybe we can either go to dinner or like I'll cook dinner. I'll cook dinner for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Mostly, it's usually like at that point, if they're comfortable enough to like hang out together alone in a private setting, it's always like, hey, like let me cook something for you.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I think whenever I hear people doing these elaborate first dates, it's like, dude, like there's no reason for that.
It's too much, bro. I'm not taking a girl to Nobu if I've never.
Especially if you're like, let's say you're in like the dating scene
Yeah.
and you're kind of like keeping your options open. Like, dude, you're gonna start like it gets expensive. Like if you're doing all this for every single person, like,
Dude, yeah.
first of all, it gets pricey. Second off, it puts too much pressure on either party, and then it's like, and sometimes like honestly, I feel like a movie date for the first date's like terrible.
Oh yeah, terrible.
You don't get to talk to them. Like
I agree.
So I feel like coffee. I mean, boba or
yeah.
even like if it's, I feel like activity honestly sometimes is a little bit better because as long as there's ability to talk in between. But sometimes like sometimes you don't want that awkward silence sometimes. So sometimes it's nice to have an activity going on too.
To do something.
And then you're just talking, and then sometimes like if we're just talking right now, we have a lot to talk about. 'Cause I feel like we're very like similar, so like we can talk about it a lot. But sometimes like there might be shyness, there might be certain things, so like there might be some awkwardness. Whereas like if you're doing an activity, it kind of puts some of that away, and it also gives you opportunity time to like think about another topic to talk about.
Yeah, and then you can just talk. You can talk shit about the activity too.
Yeah, and also I think it gives you a little bit of like space for like banter and like
Yeah, because it's like a competitive thing, which I feel like is fun.
And,
it kind of like gets the blood pumping.
So, but for you, first date.
Yeah, first date something chill.
Well, what about like what if it goes
sometimes
second,
like
third, fourth date? What about that point? You're still doing it?
a third what? Say
What
that?
if it gets to like the second, third, fourth, fifth date?
Yeah, dude. Like I said, third date usually like a like cooking,
No, in terms of
cooking
like
or something.
who's paying? Like if you're doing something like an activity, let's say.
Dude, honestly, I don't think I've ever let a girl pay for anything.
Okay.
Like in the past few years, unless like she.
Have you been? You've been in a relationship, right?
Yeah.
And like even then, like there was nothing. That she paid for.
So my relationship taught me that. I don't think I was like, because there was like some nights we go, like I don't drink.
Yeah.
Right? Like I've never drank before. So like there's some nights like we'd go like out to a bar and then like she'd just like order a drink and then pay for it. And then it was just like, hey, like why did you pay for that? And I was like, I don't drink. It's weird. I find it weird to buy a girl a drink if I'm not drinking.
Sure.
If that girl's my girlfriend, like, hey, maybe I should.
But if you're getting, let's say you're both getting coffee, like you would pay for both.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh, so as long as you're doing it with them,
dude. Yeah, if we're going to Korean barbecue or something, I'm paying for the whole dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if it's like, if we're going somewhere and just the girl is getting something, like I don't feel responsible to pay for it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Like
So
if we go out to eat, and I'm like, hey, I can't really go out to eat many places.
Yeah.
So if like we hit a drive-thru, say we hit a Chick-fil-A drive-thru and the girl's like, hey, I want a chicken sandwich. I'm like, all right, cool. She's going to pay for it herself because like I'm not getting anything from there. But if I'm getting something from there, then I'll pay for both things.
Okay.
Because I don't. It's just weird to me. Is that weird to you or no?
I feel like I haven't been in a lot of situations where like only like the person I'm dating or in a relationship with is doing something that I'm not doing anything at all.
Maybe it's just a carnivore thing.
I think it's carnivore and your lifestyle kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, if this girl's like going to Starbucks to get like a coffee or something, I don't drink coffee, so like I'm just gonna like hang out. I'll be like, hey, I'm gonna go sit at this table, right? I'm not gonna like just pay for.
No, but I think that makes sense. I think that's like a decent like philosophy. To
yeah, but same thing. Like if it's like a fifth date and like this girl's not my girlfriend or whatever, and like we both go out somewhere, if we have like we go to like Hot Pot or Korean barbecue or something like. Yeah, bro, I'm paying the bill. I'm paying the bill for sure.
So, what's like the longest relationship you've been in?
Year and a half.
And so, in that year and a half, any kind of activity where y'all are, any kind of date, anything where y'all are doing it together, you paid for. Like y'all are both like participating or like eating.
So we're both participating.
There was never a dinner she paid for, or like a lunch that y'all both ate, like a dinner y'all both ate that she paid for.
I'm trying to remember.
I feel like that's kind of like for me that's like kind of crazy, especially with like that long of a relationship.
I'm trying to remember, dude, because I mean she wasn't working for like half that time. She was in school.
Okay.
Maybe like I think she would offer sometimes, and like I thought it was cool, like if it was like something like chill, but most of the time it was just like and like I didn't, dude, I was working, I was making pretty good money, I didn't really mind.
Sure.
Also, like it's weird, man. We didn't really go out too much because I cooked every single meal. Yeah. Like I was cooking all the time, and like early on, she'd be like, hey, how much was this? Like, let me Venmo you half. Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool. But after a certain point, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna bring food over and we'll just like cook at your place type of thing, and we'll just eat together. Or like, hey, you come over and like we'll cook dinner. Like I never. That was the thing, man. This thing about being carnivore, bro. You just never go out to eat.
Yeah, that's
Like
true. That's true.
we go get Korean barbecue like once every couple months, or like go to Hutchins or Terry Black's or something. I'd pay for that, but like we just weren't going out too often. It was like a rare thing for us to go out.
I think it depends like how often. Like my brother, like my brother was like he met his now wife in Houston. They were there, but there was a time when he was in Dallas for a couple of years, and she was still over there, and like it was more of like if you wanted to, it was like the dates are like every like at the very least like month.
Yeah.
Sometimes even longer, right? Yeah. So cramping a little bit. But
get the potassium.
Yeah. No, I kind of did leg day. I didn't really stretch or anything.
Oh dang.
But
yeah, if you want to.
But I feel like no, I'm good. Yeah. But if you're like seeing this person like regularly, like my ex, I feel like we hung out like quite a bit, like multiple times a week.
Yeah.
And like I feel like we were doing a lot of stuff and like traveling and stuff like that. So I think there comes a point where it's like I feel like you can't really pay for everything.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I think my philosophy is that like I think first date.
I don't know why there's something flying around here, bro.
Yeah, I feel like my philosophy is always like I think first date, and we're also wearing black. Does that make a difference? I feel like
I have no idea. Does it?
my skin was. Every time I wear black, they always attract me.
Oh, dang, interesting.
But I think first date, I think it sets a tone, and don't do anything crazy, obviously, for your own sake. And I think my philosophy is not like 50-50 everything. It's just like, listen, if it's my birthday, like I would kind of expect like.
Oh yeah, like someone else paying for it. Yeah.
If we're getting lunch on my birthday, I feel like that's like the one opportunity. I'm like, otherwise like I'm always an offer. Whereas like, obviously if someone like cares about you and like they're also working and have the means, I think they'll offer. I think like, I think more of it is like if they don't offer, I think that's like kind of like a red flag. Like,
yeah, the offer is big. The offer them offering is big. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if they don't offer, they kind of. So there's two types of right. Like I don't want someone who's like, oh, I expect my man to do all this, and it's like. But what are you bringing to the table? Like, if I'm out here doing all this stuff, and like what are you bringing, right?
Yeah.
But
I think girls just hate using their own money. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think every relationship's different. I think the whole 50-50 mentality I think it's a bad way to look at things. I think like everyone's at different parts of their lives at different points, right? Especially when you're younger. Somebody might be in school, might be getting the master's degree, might be in law school, becoming a doctor. Like you have a lot of expenses where not a lot of income coming in, and then like later in life, like you'll probably be much better off. So it's like. Sometimes you just make
sacrifices in the short term.
You make sacrifices in the short term, and but at the same time, it's like you make all those sacrifices, and then let's say like the relationship doesn't work out, then it's like whoever made all then it's like uneven, and it's like, and then the whole. What are your thoughts on like the whole like wife duties on like a girlfriend's salary, or like husband duties on like a.
I
always find that so awkward.
I think that's all like TikTok garbage.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, like.
How do you expect someone to want to marry you?
How do you expect you're not doing that?
It's the same as like as a guy. Like if I want someone to be in a relationship with me, like I gotta exemplify behaviors like
1,000%. 1,000%. If it's like, hey, this is I've seen I hate TikTok, bro. I hate TikTok because it's such a.
It's a lot of groupthink, and it's very
a lot
easy.
of groupthink, and it's like they like put stuff on there that like goes viral because it sounds good, but it's very inaccurate. A lot of things just sound good. But they're not accurate.
There's a lot of bad advice, man.
It's a lot of bad. There's so much terrible advice on TikTok. Bro, fitness TikTok, investment TikTok, relationship TikTok. It's all terrible. It's all trash.
Yeah.
Not all of it. I'm sure there's some good points. Like they can't just like group together a whole thing. But essentially like fuck TikTok. Like TikTok, YouTube Shorts, like Reels. Like YouTube Shorts probably the best. But like people repurpose. Anyways, we're getting off topic. But I think like
I think especially for like relationship stuff.
Yeah,
I feel like
it's so bad, dude. There's one that was like. The guy asked the girl to do something, and the voiceover was like, "Sorry, you're asking for like wife privileges. You only at the girlfriend package. If you wish to continue, please get a ring." And I'm like, dude, this is the cringiest shit I've ever seen. If I had a girl that like sent me this, I'd just never talk to her again. Yeah. Like, that's the other thing, dude. I'm so like picky with my time right now.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, if a girl's like giving me shit like that, like if she's like whatever, like also she wouldn't be my girlfriend. I don't plan on having a girlfriend for a while. But like, if a girl's like sending me like expectations of that, I'm just like, dude, like it's not gonna work out. It's not happening. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. My tolerance for like taking shit
Yeah.
is very low these days. I'm just like, dude, I don't want to deal with that. Like if a girl's like if it's like too much, like, you know, like those, if you get those like long texts or whatever,
Yeah.
or like, you know, you're just like a lot of arguing and stuff. I'm like, dude, this is too much. Like just chill the fuck out. Yeah. Or it's like it's too there's too much sometimes. There's too much sometimes that like just makes it not worth it. And I feel like TikTok and like that type of content is a big contributing factor to girls having these crazy weird expectations, and then dudes also having expectations of like, oh yeah, like every girl has to put out, and it's like, dude, I mean, you got to be a fucking stud to get laid, you know, like it's not just gonna happen.
Yeah.
So
I think it's very easy for like you to like. It's like a common like thing now where it's like a woman like goes through like a breakup or like something bad, and it's like now like you see all these like relationship quotes and like it's very easy to like get into like your own kind of group thing and like have all these kind of like things like support what you're already saying.
Yeah.
Rather than like, hey, like understand
let
that
me
people
look inside myself and see what the fuck was wrong with me. Yeah.
that, and also understand that like, you know, people make mistakes. There's like, you know,
Yeah.
things happen, right? The world isn't perfect, and like okay, so there was one. I remember I had this conversation with a coworker like a while back. This was before I even was in like I was never in a relationship at this point. But I remember she was like she had a boyfriend when she was like in high school or something. Like and he like cheated on her. And like and then she like when we were talking, it was like once a cheater, always a cheater. What are your thoughts on that?
It's tough, man. That's tough. I have a weird take on this.
I also don't know. I don't know.
I think people change.
I think people can change. I think
People
people
can change. I just don't think I don't think you should expect them to.
Yeah, no, I think that's the way to think. Yeah, for sure.
Like it's you should get into a relationship with someone not expecting that they'll change because they got into a relationship.
Yeah.
But you should get into a relationship with who they are there and then, not wanting to change them. But if they change for you or if they change as a person while they're with you, then that's just icing on the cake.
Yeah.
That's from The Truth by Neil Strauss, which is a great book on relationships. I don't know if you ever heard of that author.
I don't know Strauss. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he also did the game or no?
Yeah. He wrote the game. Yeah, but he wrote The Truth as well after like he was.
Okay.
He wrote The Truth in like 2015, I think, or 2014,
Okay.
which is like 10 years after the game came out.
Yeah.
Really, really good book on relationships. Same thing. He's also a really good writer, bro. When I first read the game, I couldn't put it down.
Really?
Yeah, it was such a good story. And then
Okay,
same thing.
I
The
might
Truth is
read
a
it.
really good story.
I might read it.
Yeah.
So quality wise, does she need? Does like your like perfect
Yeah.
person, financially, where is she at? Like career wise, like.
Dude, she could be a McDonald's cashier, dog.
So you don't care too much on that.
No.
So I guess what qualities then?
The qualities are different. I think the money she makes is insignificant compared to her values.
Yeah.
I think values, interests, and personality are definitely, and looks, of course. Like, I mean, yeah, you gotta look good, you gotta be fit, for sure. That's like.
So fitness is like a.
Oh yeah, I think that goes under values though.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, look, you don't have to be carnivore, but like, you have to understand that like, I will not be eating out. Like, the family will not be eating out, like, more than by like once every 2 weeks, maybe monthly or whatever, right? If we eat out, like, it's gonna be like a rare occasion.
I mean, you can eat out until you eat healthy.
Yeah, exactly. You could, yeah. I'm just. The expectation has to be there. It's like, yo, look, I'm gonna cook,
Yeah.
like everything, right? I want a girl who's like, I honestly want a girl who hates to cook.
What? So then you just cook?
Yeah, dude, I don't want her to cook anything, bro. Like, I'm like, dude, let me just fucking like. I don't think that's like some people say that's like a very feminine role, but I'm like,
dude,
bro,
the
like,
whole idea of cooking is a feminine role.
I'm like, bro, dude, nobody's cooking steaks. No woman is cooking steaks this good, for me, bro.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, yeah, I could teach her, but it's not the same.
I feel like most cooks in a restaurant are male, are they not? Or am I tripping?
Yeah, chefs, right?
Chefs, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of chefs.
I don't know
are.
where this idea of like women
I don't
cook. I don't know.
I don't know.
I think it was just like the roles, and now
Yeah.
like.
Dude, just give me a
And this whole like, first off, okay,
Yeah.
this is a whole holy shit, man.
Yeah.
Like this whole like gender role, it's like like cooking, cleaning is like women, and like working is men. Like what the fuck, like.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's just.
Yeah, I don't think so.
People have such a narrow way of looking
yeah,
at life.
I
man.
agree, dude. I like having it, dude. Like, I love having a clean space, man. Like,
Yeah.
I think cleaning is like my car is clean, my house, my room is clean, whatever, right? Like, my space is very organized. Like, I don't think that's a feminine trait either. and I love to cook my steaks, bro.
Dude, like, how is being clean if I'm
exactly.
whoever like came up with that, man? Like,
Yeah. Honestly,
I think it's just balance, bro. Like I don't love cooking.
yeah.
I don't think I like cook meals. But I can like prepare stuff that like I eat.
Yeah.
But I also eat a very simple kind of diet.
That makes sense. I just don't want to. I just don't want a girl coming in the kitchen saying like, "Hey, babe, I'm gonna make pasta today. Let me boil this water for 45 minutes." No. Like we can cook and be done eating in 45 minutes. Don't not boiling no fucking water.
Hey, but you can meal prep and then it's not grilling a steak every day. Grilling a steak will take 20 minutes, but you can meal prep.
Yeah, I'd rather cook a steak every day fresh.
No, for sure.
Or ground beef. I don't know. Also, you know how you said riding top down in the Miata is like therapeutic for you? Every time I cook, it's very therapeutic for me.
That's good, man. That's
Every
good.
time I cook, yeah.
I personally, if I could, I hope to get to a point where I can just hire like a personal chef.
Yeah, that'd be huge.
I understand there's like meal delivery services and stuff.
Yeah, like the stuff I'm not going to say because they're sponsored. Yeah. But no, I'm just kidding. No one's gonna make it to sponsor the podcast. Like HelloFresh or whatever Factor and stuff like that.
Yeah, they have those. I've never tried them, but they're just so pricey. And
they are, yeah.
I don't think you get that much food for what you're getting. Like, you're paying for a lot.
I think it's for people who are like really trying to like lose a lot of weight or something. And also you have to like microwave those meals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's too much. I haven't used a microwave in like 5 years. So. There's no need to.
What you eat,
there's no need to. Yeah. I don't have any leftovers either.
You never like make. Oh, you never have leftovers?
Never have leftovers, and I never really. And if I have leftovers, dude, I'll just.
You can put them in the air fryer or something.
Yeah, or I'll put them downstairs, and my dad will eat it later. Like.
Yeah. Have you always lived here? Did you ever move out?
I did. I moved out when I was in college.
How was like? Were you in a relationship out after college?
I was in a relationship after college. I had my own apartment for a year, and I was in a relationship like pretty much the whole year.
Were you ever dating anyone while you were living here?
I was, yeah.
Was that hard?
No, she had her own place,
Okay.
and then when she moved back in with her parents, I moved out, so it ended up working out really well.
Oh, okay. I guess that works. Yeah.
She was a student at SMU, and so she had like housing, or she had like an apartment in Dallas, and then she graduated in like May of 2020, moved home, and I moved out, and I got my own place in June of 2020. So that was like our spot to hang out at. So It was chill. It was cool. I've never had trouble like dating from my parents' house.
Okay.
Like it's just, I don't bring them over, but like it's just like very chill to.
Yeah.
I don't know. Also, my parents, dude, I'm knock on wood again. Very blessed, very lucky to have like really laid back, really chill parents. We're always vibe. We're all on the same page.
I mean, I feel like parents and like I try to be a parent that they can always come to me and like talk. Like, first off, like there's so many stories of like people who have very strict parents. Mm-hmm. They go to college, they go fucking crazy as first, right?
They wild out, yeah.
They wild out. That's one thing. They make really stupid decisions. Sometimes like they die, you know.
Yeah.
Like one thing you can learn from, one thing you can't, right? So, like there's calculated risks, right? Like
taking calculators is important. You can't just put all your eggs in one basket.
Did you start recording?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's important, man.
Yeah.
And I guess if you do put all your eggs in one basket, you have to be really careful on.
Yeah, I mean, that's just like investment philosophy. That's basically everything.
Yeah. I was talking to your brother about like some stock market stuff and how people are just like really degenerate when they just like like when they trade options and stuff and.
Oh yeah, you can
lose so much money.
Especially if you do if you do any kind of like leverage kind of
leverage you're
investing,
screwed.
You can stand to make a lot, but you can also stand to lose a shit ton.
Yeah.
It's risky, and people do it, and some people are successful with it. People are not.
Yeah. I'm not one of those people.
I think the typical like go-to advice when someone asks me about like investing is just like, dude, like just put it into like the S&P or something.
And then just hold it forever. Yeah.
Just hold it forever.
Yeah. That's the smart
thing.
You're
You're saving like mental capacity. You're saving time.
Yeah.
Yeah. You might be able to like eat the market.
Eat Yeah.
It's a thing that I learned. Yeah. One of my friends used to say it, but you can basically like try to like game the market to the point where like you can get better returns year over year. But usually it's, I feel like for the most part, if you just invest into like an index, that it's already like and just keep putting money, like max out your
401k or whatever.
Yeah, I mean if you can, I think there's like an income limit. So obviously I think if you're like a business owner and stuff, like only you can qualify for it. But the average Joe, you basically max out your Roth. IRA, which is like your $7K a year. I think that's what it is right now.
Yeah.
Obviously, you do your 401k match with your employer, the 5-6%, whatever it is. because that stuff is like guaranteed. Like you're maximizing the money.
The return,
And
yeah.
after that, you would do like your own brokerage account, and then you can kind of invest whatever's left after everything. If you have anything left, if you want to, then at that point you can put money in there.
Yeah, that's a good call. Instead of just like doing individual stocks or whatever, yeah.
So yeah, it's like like for me, it's 401k match is like the most important. Then it's like you're matching your 7K Roth, because these things are like tax advantage accounts. So like whenever you try to either you pay tax, you don't pay taxes on the way in, or you don't pay taxes on the way out.
Yeah.
Whereas a brokerage account, you're paying taxes both ways.
Both ways, yeah.
Right, because like you're putting in money that's already taxed.
Yeah.
And when you take it out, it's also taxed.
You
pay capital gains tax. So
that
whatever
makes
money
sense.
you make out of it, you're paying. So typically you do the 401k match because you're getting free money from your employer. You do your Roth because you're not paying taxes on the way out, I believe is what it is. Or yeah, it's on the way out. And then next is like, I don't know if you have any like health, if you have like a
HSA.
HSA, yeah. So
I don't think so. No, I don't think I have one.
So like at Bank of America, like if you choose like the cheapest option, like healthcare option, which is like the highest deductible, but the cheapest premium for the year, they have like HSA accounts for that. And I was someone like, listen, I don't go to the doctor very much. So for me, paying high premiums didn't make sense. So I just did like the cheapest one. And I'll just pay out of like pocket if I need to, like the one or two times I go a year.
Mine's the opposite. I have the high premium, low deductible.
Okay.
Because I go to the doctor pretty often.
For what though? I forgot stuff.
Yeah. Or like when I'm re-upping like medication or something.
You do take medication for it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. My brother has. Oh, you have this. Okay.
Yeah.
My brother gets some thing where you got to put it in the fridge and something. It's like a shot.
You have to like inject it in your leg
I
or
think that's
whatever?
what he does. Yeah. I've never seen him do it, but I think that's what it is.
Yeah. Mine's not like as bad. Knock on wood. Hopefully it doesn't get there, but
yeah.
Because of the diet, because of like the stress management, sleeping, and everything, I've been able to maintain it pretty well.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. If you have some kind of like condition, then definitely.
Yeah.
But HSA, I think it only applies to that, and for that, I think like you're getting like basically free like $2,000-$3,000.
Oh, nice. Okay.
But it's nothing too much, but I think it adds up over.
Yeah. I don't know if there's an ESPP at your company, but I do that, like the employee stock purchase plan or whatever.
So we're given like stock rewards
or whatever.
We're given like stock rewards every now and then.
Okay. That's cool.
That like basically accumulate over time.
Yeah.
It's like over like, but obviously if you leave in the, like in between, like you don't get all of it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Same. Yeah. So pretty much just like we'll do that, or like there's an option where you can every 6 months like you could take like 15% of your base paycheck, and they buy the stock at a 15% discount from the price it's at.
No, we don't have that.
So I have that to where like it's like kind of like.
So if you're bullish on your company, you basically it's pretty smart too.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. So I have like shares from my last company, and then this one I just started at 3 months ago, so I don't have anything yet. But so I have like that. I have like just like blue chip, like some Apple stock. I have like one or two companies that like I'm really bullish on long term, and then I have some crypto, and that's pretty much my entire, and then cash. And then my entire investment portfolio is just like 5 things. But
anything besides like do you, like any kind of like rental or real estate, anything like that?
No real estate yet. No, man. I've been
hopefully one day.
Dude, yeah, one day, dude. Definitely. I mean, like I said earlier, like I would love like dream home is honestly like a 1-story house, bro. I'd love to live in a 1-story house.
But in terms of like investment purposes, you
like an investment property? Oh man, I haven't thought about that. Haven't thought that far ahead yet.
Yeah.
But maybe one day, dude. We'll see.
Market currently is tough, but
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Cool, man. I got like 7 quick questions.
Sure, go ahead.
I want you to answer, and we're gonna. This is how I always end the podcast with these these type of questions. But I want you to respond in 1 sentence, and then I want you to explain your response in 1 sentence. Does that make sense?
Okay.
All right. What do you need right now?
So I will say something, but I want to say it on the.
Go ahead, no, say it.
No, let me
That's what you're gonna say.
I think you know what I'm saying.
You say something else. You want to say that? You can.
Let me think about it.
You want me to go to the next question?
Yeah, what do I need right now? Fuck, I don't know. Just next one.
All right. What's your favorite thing to do on a rainy day?
Rainy day.
Like, what's your favorite way to spend a rainy day?
Playing board games with friends.
Nice. Classic.
Yeah.
Okay. Describe your ultimate sandwich. You can make it up if you want, or it can be a real one.
Okay.
But if you could just like imagine any sandwich if you say it out loud and it appears in front of you, what would it have on it?
Like a spicy grilled chicken, avocado, some kind of like aioli, chipotle kind of thing, on like with cheese and some kind of like, I don't know what kind of bread though, but some combination of like some kind of like really good chicken sandwich.
Really good chicken sandwich. Okay,
Yeah.
with like the works.
With
Like
everything on it.
everything
Like,
on it.
a lot of like all that stuff on it.
All right, that's fair.
Have you been to Rodeo Goat? Not
No, I've never been there.
It's a,
Is that a spot? Is that a good spot?
yeah, they have like burgers. It's like really unique.
Oh,
kind of
that's
stuff.
right next to Ferris Bueller's. The place in the Design District, right? In Dallas?
No.
Oh, never mind. I'm thinking.
There's a Rodeo in Dallas, but I think it's more like east side, like more towards Greenville. I think
You're talking about one in Plano.
There's one in Frisco.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Near Stonebar. There's one.
Oh, gotcha,
yeah.
gotcha. No, I've never been there.
But yes, continue.
Oh yeah. What are 3 movies you can watch over and over again?
Tough question, man. Movies.
3 movies that you can just watch over that you feel like you're like, oh man, I can watch these over and over again. I know like the lines, like everything. Like 3 movies, or you can say 3 go-to movies for you.
I'm bad at stuff like this because like I just for some reason the second
Just
someone
blanked out, huh?
someone told me to ask me this question, I can't recall.
man.
I need like a list.
Yeah.
I like Christopher Nolan movies. Some of those are pretty good.
Yeah, I can give you mine if you want. If
Sure,
that'll
yeah,
help.
you go first. Yeah.
All right, mine is The Prestige.
Okay.
Christopher Nolan movie.
I haven't seen that. I'm gonna watch it.
So good.
I keep meaning myself. I keep
Dude.
thinking I'm gonna watch it. I never do.
Bro, if you want to watch it together sometime next week, let me know.
Okay.
Dude, I love watching that movie over and over again. All right, Prestige, definitely number 1. Number 2 is Ocean's 11,
Okay.
and number 3 is the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
Okay.
I don't know if that helps at all. Like,
Dude, I
but
didn't
yeah,
fucking movies, man. Why am I blanking right now? Holy shit, man. I'm not a huge fan of Marvel movies,
yeah,
especially recently. I'm not a huge fan. I feel it's very copy paste. It's a badder villain out to destroy the
always a
world.
big
There's
bad, yeah.
there's CGI, there's fight scenes, there's a little bit of comedy. It's like copy paste a lot. I don't really like it. I like movies that make you think. Like I liked Interstellar a lot. There's a movie called 12 Angry Men. Have you seen that?
12 Angry Men.
It's an older movie.
No, I haven't seen it.
It's like a
Interstellar is a phenomenal movie though.
There's the ending was a little bit weird, but I just like that like really like it was like so new to me,
Okay,
and that it was
cool.
like Interstellar. It's on Interstellar here. Like,
Yeah,
like I think like the music, Christopher Nolan with fucking
Hans Zimmer.
Hans Zimmer. It's just you can't beat that.
So good, dude. Same thing with Inception.
Oh, Inception was a great the time. That's what the song is called.
Classic Time.
I went to there's not really lightning round, but I went to like a
Hans Zimmer concert?
Hans Zimmer,
No
not concert.
way.
It was like a tribute to Hans Zimmer.
Oh,
it
that's cool.
was like a candlelight. I went
Yeah.
with my ex.
Yeah.
It was actually really cool.
Nice.
So they had Pirates of the Caribbean in there. They had Time in there. They had Interstellar in there. Like it was like people like on like the violins, like 3 people.
Yeah.
It's like a candlelight and like everyone's like dressed a bit nicer.
That's so cool.
They do it in Dallas. I see it all the time.
Yeah.
The candlelight stuff. So,
Nice.
but I like Christopher Nolan. I like some of who made Pulp Fiction or like
Tarantino.
I like a couple of Tarantino movies. I like. Have you seen Departed?
Yeah.
Who's Departed? Or
I don't know the director. Wait, was it Martin Scorsese?
I like
Yeah.
So I like Martin Scorsese. I like Christopher Nolan.
And then Tarantino.
Tarantino,
I think
I would say.
that qualifies. Yeah.
Sure.
3 director movies.
Sure, that
yeah.
works, yeah.
Yeah. Then you went like 1 step above. I
Okay.
like that. I like
Yes,
that.
that works.
This next one, I mean, dude, these next few questions are all like listed questions. So the same question, but for shows. What are 3 shows that you can watch over and over again?
I like Suits a lot. I feel it's very
Suits, that's a classic.
very
yeah.
rewatchable.
First season of Suits is some of the best TV ever.
Oh, dude,
The very first season. The
first so good.
So good.
I never finished it. I think I went to probably 5th or 6th season and then I
Yeah.
stopped.
It kind of fell off after like season 3.
That's what I heard. I have a hard time finishing shows. But I remember Lost being really good when I watched it like a long time ago. 3 is hard to pick. I like Game of Thrones a lot. Obviously, the end. All these shows, there's always an issue with something.
They just can't end shows properly.
Yeah.
All right, Suits, Lost, Game of Thrones.
Sure.
Cool.
Just because I can't. Lack of just like.
All right. No worries.
There's a
no
list
worries.
of probably things I like more.
If you want me to go on this next one, mine haven't changed for this next question I'm going to ask. 3 albums you can listen to cover to cover.
Can I use my phone?
Yeah. You can open up Apple Music or Spotify.
I'm on Spotify.
Yeah.
I'm forgetting the name.
Yeah, 3 albums, like full albums you can listen to cover to cover.
I'm trying to, because I'm forgetting which Kanye. One of them has to be Kanye. I think it's
Is it Graduation?
I think it's Graduation.
Dude, yeah, Graduation's on my list.
It's either Graduation or 808, I think.
Yeah.
Which one's 808? Is that Heartless?
808s is like
Amazing
the one,
Love
Lockdown and Amazing, yeah.
It might Coldest Winter.
Coldest Winter.
Graduation's really good
Memories
too.
made in the coldest winter.
Dude, like Heartless,
Goodbye,
Heartless I can say like
friend.
word
for word, same. Dude, you should come to karaoke one night and do that.
I know you're a huge Kanye fan.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
why.
yeah.
At least old school Kanye. Let me see.
Graduation's a classic, man. Can't Tell Me Nothing, Stronger, Flashing Lights, Good Life.
Let me do
Really good.
Let me do a Drake album just because I used to listen to a lot back in the day.
Yeah.
Probably Take Care or Thank Me Later. Let me. Over Find Your Love. Those are good songs.
Oh man, yeah, that's Thank Me Later.
We'll Be Fine, Make Me Proud. This is all Take Care. I would say one of the Drake albums, one of the Kanye albums. Definitely Graduation, probably. Maybe Thank Me Later or Take Care. Should I do like it? What else should I do? Who else is up there?
Dude, you got some big ones, man. I don't really listen to Drake, but yeah, Kanye and Drake, those are two big names.
See, I'm not good with albums because I feel like I don't like. Typically people go like it's a new album, like they'll go down the album. I just feel like I just listen to like random songs. I don't know which album they belong to. I'm a lot more into old school kind of like hip hop and
Same.
rap and stuff. That's why I love listening to old school Kanye.
Yeah.
But honestly, like I like Young Dolph a lot. Have you heard of him?
I have. I don't really know his music though.
So like there was like a couple. I would probably say one of the Dolph ones just because.
Okay. So Kanye, Dolph, Drake.
Yeah.
Cool.
But
saying...
my music is very different. Like,
yeah. Oh, dude, same. I'm a rap. I'm like almost like I'm like 98%
I'm listening to like
rap.
I'm listening to some like Diljit right now, which is like a Punjabi
Oh,
artist.
dang.
There'll be times when I was just
Yeah.
I was listening to Mr. Sexo Beat. Have you heard the song?
Oh, Mr. Sexo Beat.
It's just catchy. It's like
yeah, I have that song downloaded
I'll find songs. I like hear on like for TikTok.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the good things. I like
Mr. Sexo Beat. Yeah, dude, that's so good. What are so this is a follow-up question. Earlier you're like yo, I know every word to Heartless, and then you said earlier you listen to a lot of old school rap, hip-hop and rap.
So
what are a few songs that like you just like know word for word?
Yeah, so Heartless, 100 Shots by Dolph. I feel like We'll Be Fine by Drake. I feel like I can probably do most of it. I'm so bad at like thinking of like stuff. Like if I see a list, I can go like, oh yeah, this.
Yeah.
But I'm so bad at just like out of like I don't know.
You're good, man.
But yeah.
Are you like watching? Do you watch basketball these days, or did you watch basketball more when you were younger?
I was always I play more than I watch.
Play more than you watch.
I was always more of like either I play sport or like I play like a video game. Like I'm always more about like keeping busy rather than just like leisure watch.
Okay, so you enjoy like the action more than the
watching of it. Like, for me, like watching someone else, like I think you can learn a lot, and I think it's gonna be entertaining for sure. I think like Super Bowls, like playoffs, like stuff like that, where just like, a little more on the line. It's more of a social kind of thing.
Right.
But I don't think I've ever just sat at home and like watched a game by myself ever.
Okay.
I think like the most I'll do is like I'll watch highlights. Right now I'm watching like Olympic highlights sometimes for USA
classic.
basketball.
Yeah.
Or if it's like playoffs and stuff, like I'll watch highlights of stuff.
Yeah.
Just because like I think my attention span is just too low. I gotta keep.
Yeah. Even when I was younger, bro, I'd watch like SportsCenter instead of watching the actual game.
Yeah. Watching a game throughout the whole thing and like you're just sitting at home doing like I don't know how people do it. It's like 3 hours. You're just sitting there. Like how do you even like?
The worst is like when people say like they're gonna spend all day Saturday just watching college football. I'm just like, bro, I don't get it. Sipping brewskis with the boys, watching college football. Like, do your thing, man. All right, last one. Second last one. If you could have dinner with any two people from history, who would they be and why?
It's always these fucking questions.
Yeah, and history is like this moment and backwards.
All right,
so, like,
Jesus and Muhammad.
Jesus and Muhammad?
Yeah.
Why?
I feel like they play such a pivotal part in today's society.
All right, that's
and
fair.
like the questions I have, especially more recently about like religion and stuff, I feel like
I feel like they could answer pretty well. That'd be a fun dinner.
Yeah.
It'd be an interesting dinner. Are there any questions you thought I would ask you that I didn't?
What's my sexual orientation? No, fuck.
It's 2024, man. You can do whatever you want. You can be whoever you want to be.
No, I mean, I don't know. I think we covered a lot of shit, man. I think it was a good
I think we
conversation.
covered like a really good, like we like went in depth about fitness. We went in depth about like different like worldviews from like
Some
the
relationship
different community,
stuff and-
relationship stuff, and then we just went kind of in depth on kind of like all these like miscellaneous topics like
Red pill stuff we talked about.
Yeah,
We talked about
red pill, music, investing, like all these like small little things.
think it's
And then I
good,
feel
man.
like we always touch back on like lifestyle and fitness because those are like that's like the fundamental that both you and I have.
I think we're both very passionate about
Both
that.
very passionate about it. There's always like the conversation always came back to like strengthening like not only your body, your mind. Making sure all the inputs are like very secure. Like make sure all the inputs are good to make sure the outputs are good.
I remember seeing this like graphic or hearing this where it's like everyone should have 3 hobbies. Mm-hmm. There should be a physical hobby, a creative hobby, and like a hobby that can basically improve your like financial standing, right? So like find ways basically to make money or like basically improve your financial situation, right? Because I mean, obviously we live in a world where money is how we purchase things and everything, right? Basically, it's like get your bread up.
Yeah.
Is one of your hobbies. The other hobby would be to stay in shape, keeping your mental and body in shape. And then one's like creative, just so like having like creative pursuits. I think it's good. I think the creative thing, that's something I need to work on. I think I'm working on financial and physical and mental.
You're kind of starting on the creative with the MoezPFit thing slowly.
I gotta stick to that, man. I think honestly, I need to like. I realize that it takes more time than I thought.
Yeah.
So I think staying consistent and just having, like I mentioned earlier, it's much easier. Like some of these kettlebell routines I saw, it's literally only like 2 exercises that you do repeatedly.
Yeah.
Right. Especially with kettlebells, it's like it's very simple. It's very and like it's not gonna be. There's not gonna be a lot of entertainment value from that.
Crazy, yeah.
Whereas there's some guy doing all this like crazy shit. The thing is, like the kettlebells I have, it's like an adjustable kettlebell set. So like I'm not gonna keep switching the weight.
Yeah.
So like the weight is designed like this. The program I was doing, it was designed to where you can do the movement with the same weight. If I was to like do some kind of like lateral raise with like a 40-pound, I can't do that.
Nah, yeah, definitely not.
Right. So like I can't do like multiple kind of things. So I think like honestly I might shift. I might still do some of that, but I think some of the content I might start doing more at the gym. I just need to find a way to not look like a fucking asshole. Like it's a big ass tripod, like filming my workouts, like at 5 p.m.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, you can get like either one of these tiny tripods and kind of just like
set it
stand
somewhere.
Set it up in the middle.
I saw this ad where like it's like a magnet and you can just like stick it.
I've seen that. I've seen that before.
I need to look into that. Maybe I can.
Yeah.
Basically, I want to do it way where like I'm not trying to like bother people, right?
Yeah,
I'm just doing it for myself. But I don't have like my own gym at home, and I'm not an early riser, and I also don't want to work out too late. So your options are basically prime time.
Yeah.
Then,
I think if you do it like. It's like no one's gonna judge you more than yourself, and if people,
I think that's what's
if
tough.
people are bothering you, or people are like whatever, like they don't really mean like people are always gonna be like, oh my god, whatever, right? And it's like those guys, they don't know.
Yeah.
They don't know you're just trying to follow a creative hobby.
I think right now,
Follow your passion.
switching to trying to do gym workouts like at the gym, because I think I'm gonna hop back on that for a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I think like I've been doing it for the past 2 days, and I definitely feel like, at least hypertrophy wise, it's so much better.
Hell yeah.
I think as long as I add in enough sports playing, because like I said, kettlebells is very strength and conditioning. You get both, and you get like movement. It's very movement pattern oriented.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of benefits in that. But the cons being you're not building as much muscle as you could in the same amount of time.
That makes sense.
So I think the one thing I need to focus on is making sure if I do more of like the bodybuilding kind of split, that I make sure I get like sports and still get the active part of it and like translating, because at the end of the day, like athlete, right? Not just bodybuilder.
Yeah, not just bodybuilder, not
athlete,
just sport, but mix. Yeah.
So doing that, maybe adding some music into it, editing a little bit better. I think I'm gonna try to do some more. So
yeah, sounds good, man.
see
Yeah,
what
if you ever
goes.
want to bring your laptop over, do an editing session together.
Where do you
I'm always
edit?
editing.
I don't know if you.
This is my work laptop, but I'm editing. I edit on my personal one over there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you just record on your phone, and then is it like an Apple computer that you have?
Yeah, I'll show you after we let's close out. I'll show you. I'll show you here in a second.
Any other questions,
So,
or is that kind of?
No, that was it, man. Yeah.
Cool.
Do you want to let them know where to find you real quick?
Yeah, so my name is Moez Pirani. Moez P on Instagram. Moez P on LinkedIn. I don't know what the fuck.
MoezPFit
on Instagram.
_fit. Yeah.
I'll probably at some point make a TikTok and Instagram if I stick to this thing. So
Yeah. I'll drop your
reach
drop
out
Your, yeah.
if you have any questions about religion, political philosophy, athletic performance, just
Red pill view.
diet stuff,
Relationship
like,
advice.
self-help stuff. Like
Masculine,
I'm all,
feminine roles.
I guess fuck shit. I guess.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Cool. Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Peace. All right, that was good, man.
Yeah, that was great.